All right. Hi, everybody. Welcome to another Quarantine Theater Company reading. Tonight we are doing Seven Psychopaths, one of my favorite movies. Dark comedy, violent, hilarious, and full of wonderful cast. And now let's introduce our wonderful cast.
I'm Logan. I'm going to be action description.
Hello, I'm George, and I'll be Marty.
Hello, I'm Eric, and I'll be playing Sam Rockwell's character, Billy.
Hello, I'm Travis. I'm playing Charlie.
And I am Chelsea. I will be playing Hans.
I'm Jessica, and I will be playing Kaya.
I'm Jennifer. I'm going to be Mari.
All right. And with that, go ahead and take us away, Logan.
Seven Psychopaths by Martin McDonough. Exterior LA street corner day. Tommy and Larry, two mafia hitmen. At some point in their conversation, an inconsequential figure from the distant background slowly approaches.
Was it Dillinger got shot through the eyeball, or am I thinking of somebody else?
Mo Green got shot through the eyeball in The Godfather.
Yeah, I'm talking about in real life.
Oh,
Somebody in real life got shot through the eyeball.
who was that?
Well, no, Larry, many people in real life have got shot through the eyeball. I'm just saying, I think Dillinger was one of them.
That's really good aim.
No, that ain't really good aim.
How's that not really good aim?
There's 100 fucking cops shooting 1,000 bullets a minute. One of them's bound to go through someone's fucking eyeball.
Oh. Eyeball.
You ever shoot a guy in his eyeball?
I stabbed a guy in his ear once. Ice pick right in his fucking ear.
Yeah, see, that'd be a different subject. That'd be ears.
What's the matter with you?
Nothing's the matter with me.
You nervous because we're killing a chick?
Yeah, look at me. I'm shaking. I got the chick killing shakes.
They tense, as if someone is leaving the building they're watching. They relax again. The figure from the background is still approaching. He's wearing a ski mask.
The last thing the boss says to me, he says, Tommy, the moment I first saw Mari's eyes, I knew it. I knew it was love. I knew I was fucked. And lo and behold, I was. So, Tommy, the moment after you kill her, please shoot her fucking eyeballs out. Those were the exact words.
Yeah, well, I got one exact word for that. Overkill.
I got 2 exact words for that. Hear, hear.
I got 3 exact words for that. You're damn fucking straight. I guess he who pays the piper gets to have his girlfriend shot through the fucking eyeballs. So that's what's put you in mind of Dillinger and the eyeball thing. I see.
Life's parade of shot through the eyeball people.
What happened to Mahatma Gandhi? Did he?
No.
Are you sure?
I know he got murdered. Nothing happened to his eyeballs. His name was Mohandas anyway. In Cuba, the torturers used to have a device, 2 thin metal spikes placed here that they adjusted and slowly, millimeter by millimeter, pricked into the eyebrows.
You're kidding me. Those communist motherfuckers.
Well, no, Larry, those were the ones those communist motherfuckers kicked out.
What is it with you today, Tommy? First, it should we or shouldn't we shoot this chick through the eyeballs? And second, it's you're gone soft on Castro all of a sudden.
On sudden, the background figure reaches the men and shoots both of their fucking heads off. Their bodies collapse. He drops playing cards on each of them, both the Jack of Diamonds. A figure stands looking at his handiwork, in no hurry to leave. Flash on title card, Psychopath number 1, as he finally turns and slowly walks away the way he came. Interior, Kaya's apartment, day. Living room, Kaya, 23, a beautiful woman of Asian Hispanic descent, reading to quiet music. Bedroom, Marty, her boyfriend, a good-looking but puffy-eyed after a night of boozing, wakes, listens to the music, looks at an empty bottle on the floor. The doorbell rings. He grimaces. Living room, Kaya, irritated, opens the door and reveals Billy, who smiles despite a bruised cheek and a cut lip.
Hi, Kaya.
Martin's writing today, Billy.
Oh, should I just stand out here in the hall like a dick then?
She sighs and leaves the door open. He enters. Bedroom. Kaya throws some clothes on. Marty lies there in pain, talking to Billy leaning in the doorway.
What happened to you?
Got into a fight at my audition.
Who with this time?
Oh, you know, director guy?
I'm going to work.
Are you pissed at me, baby?
Why would I be pissed at you, Marty?
Kaya brushes past Billy and slams the door as she leaves.
Because you're a cunt?
Billy.
Interior, diner, day. Billy eating, Marty with just a shake, nursing his hangover.
I don't remember doing anything to piss her off.
She's probably pissy and not for anything specific. More because, you know, she's a fucking bitch.
She ain't a fucking bitch, Billy. She's just got issues.
Yeah, she's got being a fucking bitch issues. Like, how comes I'm your best friend and I haven't been invited to her party Friday night?
Oh, how come you're my best friend and you haven't been invited to her party Friday night? Well, mostly because my girlfriend's a fucking bitch.
Oh, I see. I thought maybe she just had issues or something.
No, she's a fucking bitch.
I see.
So you want to come to our party Friday? You can bring your imaginary girlfriend.
My girlfriend isn't imaginary, okay? She exists. She just doesn't like going out much. I like it. It means I don't have to take her nowhere.
What, she got agoraphobia or something?
Billy shrugs like he doesn't give a fuck.
And how are things in the dog kidnapping business?
Just helping out a friend while his wife's sick, that's all.
Exterior, park day. Billy on a bench, an art portfolio satchel beside him, lazily scanning the park. A blonde woman with a basset yapping around her heels chats to a cute stranger. Interior, dog warehouse day. 13 dogs in well-kept cages, all happy. Hans, 50s, poor but neatly dressed, with a cravat, reading a pamphlet on breast cancer. He stops and caresses the unhappiest dog. Exterior, park day. Blonde looking around for her dog, distraught. In the distance, Billy Ape's looking for it too, portfolio balanced against his leg, behind which the basset is chomping on some meat, a dog cage hanging over him like the sword of Damocles. Interior, dog warehouse day. Billy bursts in, smiling with the basset. Hans smiles too. Exterior, rich LA street day. A tearful blonde pins posters to telegraph poles. Poster, basset photo, a description, and a $500 reward. Exterior, rich house day. Finger presses bell. Door opens and blonde's sad face turns to joy as Hans is revealed on the doorstep, basset in his arms. A few seconds later, Hans refuses the reward money, then begrudgingly accepting, leaving the blonde overjoyed. Exterior, Billy's car day. Hans gives Billy half the money as he gets into the car, which pulls away.
Where do you want to go, Hans? Now we're back in the money.
The cancer ward, Billy, if you don't mind.
One cancer war coming right up.
Interior, hospital room day. Hans' black wife, Myra, ill in bed. Another woman sleeping in the single bed beside her. Hans shows Myra the reward money.
$500, baby. Blonde lady with a basset hound.
When you gonna get a job that ain't just stealing from folks, Hans?
I'm a 57-year-old. Ain't worked in 20 years, Myra. Where am I gonna get a job?
Government?
Government. Job that ain't stealing from folks. Government.
Myra has to smile despite her pain. Hans smiles too. They hold hands. Interior, Kaya's apartment day. Marty at the desk with a notepad, the words exterior street, day written at the top, nothing else on it. Beside it is the title page, printed in a nice font, reading 7 Psychopaths by Martin Hanrahan. Or Hanrahan. He picks it up, reads it, and smiles. There are no other pages behind it. He pours himself a glass of wine. Interior bar night. Marty and Billy at a booth.
So how's the 7 Psychopaths coming along, Marty?
Slow. So I got the title, and I kind of know what it's about.
Well, what's it about?
It's about these 7 psychopaths, but I haven't been able to come up with all the psychopaths yet.
How many you got?
One. And he's not really a psychopath. He's quite nice. See, I'm sick and tired of all these stereotypical Hollywood murderous scumbag type psychopaths. I want some of mine to be more kind of, Buddhist.
Buddhist?
I want the film overall to be about love. I don't want it to be one more movie about guys with guns in their hands. I'm sick of that. I want it to be about love and peace, but it's still got to be about these 7 psychopaths. So this Buddhist psychopath, he doesn't believe in violence. I don't know what the fuck he's going to do in the movie.
And what happens to the psychopaths at the end?
I don't know what happens to them at the start.
I think they should all come together at the end. I think they should all join forces and kill off all the bad guys.
Well, yeah, that's kind of the exact opposite of everything I've just been talking about.
I like 7 Psychopaths. It's kind of like 7 Samurai. Except there's psychopaths and there's only one. Hey, I've got a psychopath for you.
Marty sighs and orders more beers.
Did you see that thing in the paper the other day? Those 2 mafia guys who got whacked? How about this? There's the serial killer going around, a major fucking wacko. However, he ain't like your usual serial killer. Tie up a freckle-headed hitchhiker on the highway. No, this guy, he's got a little bit more integrity. He's got a little bit more class. And this serial killer will only kill mid to high-ranking members of the Italian American Organized Crime Syndicate or the Yakuza.
That's a great fucking psychopath, Billy.
Do you think?
Is that your idea? Can I keep it?
Well, it's my idea from the thing in the paper. I don't know if it was the killer's idea. He's only killed guys from the Italian American Organized Crime Syndicate. It's probably more, a feud.
Marty starts writing on a napkin.
Serial killer who will only kill
Mid to high ranking.
mid to high ranking members of the Italian American Organized Crime Syndicate.
Or the Yakuza.
I'll keep it the Mafia. Saves doing Jap dialogue. That's a great fucking psychopath, Billy. Can I keep it?
You can if you let me help write your movie with you.
Marty looks at Billy, not managing to hide his true feelings. Billy sees it, but covers up his hurt.
Yeah, you can keep it, Marty. I'm just kidding with you, right? Oh, the papers are calling him the Jack of Diamonds killer. He left the Jack of Diamonds on both bodies.
Marty writes that down too. Thrilled. Billy, a little sad. Interior Kaya's apartment night. Kaya on the bed watching TV. Marty at the desk pours a white wine. A newspaper article on the Jack of Diamonds killer, and a notepad beside him reads 1. The Jack of Diamonds. 2. The Buddhist psychopath. Marty thinks a while, crosses out Buddhist, writes Amish, and drinks. Gets excited. Crosses out Amish, writes Quaker, starts writing furiously. Kaya smiles.
Honey, I love that you're...
Shh, honey, for Christ's sake.
He puts a hand over his ear as he continues.
a writer.
She sighs at the ceiling. He writes the word voiceover.
The daughter of a Quaker went missing, and when she was discovered, the slit in her throat turned out to be the least of the damage done to her.
Exterior Summer Meadow, 1950 day. From the back, a black-suited man in a hat bends over his daughter's bloody body, wraps her white dress around her, and carries her into church, leaving a trail of blood across the summer grass, blue skies above. Exterior Bloody Room, 1950s day. The killer, male, 18, cross-legged on a chair, rocking slightly, hands bloody.
Her killer, whose name shall not be noted, could not bear the guilt and the horror.
Exterior Police Station, 1950 day. From behind, the killer walks past cops into the station.
And a year to the day of her death, he walked into a police station and gave himself up.
Exterior Courtroom, 1950 day. Killer sitting quietly as the judge passes sentence and the spectators go crazy, baying for blood, all except the black-suited man in a hat who sits silently at the back of the court.
And though he asked for execution, the judge gave him life, and the killer was sent off to Sing Sing to serve out his sentence.
The killer turns to look at the man in the hat. The man looks out the window beside him at the blue skies there. The killer faces front and bows his head.
27 years went by.
Interior cell day. Killer in cell 27 years later. All manner of religious iconography over the walls of his section of the cell. His cellmate watches him reading the Bible.
The killer found religion.
Cellmate spits in his face. The killer wipes it off, smiles tenderly at the cellmate, who, irritated, turns away.
I was sincere about it. He had changed. And if he had ever been a psychopath, he was not one anymore.
Exterior prison yard day. Killer picks up a pretty flower as he sweeps near the prison entrance. He examines the flower gently.
This story isn't about him.
A Catholic priest the killer knows enters the prison and waves to the killer. As the killer smiles and waves back, he catches a glimpse outside of the prison gates of a man in a hat, standing there, far off, waiting. The gates close on him. Interior cell, night. Killer lies awake, rosary in hand, fingering the crucifix.
Even more years went by.
Interior cell, day. Killer and cellmate kneeling, praying together.
And the authorities finally realized that it wasn't a scam, that he did really mean it, that he had truly repented.
Priest and governor enter the cell, smiling.
And they decided to set him free.
Cellmate shakes the killer's hand. Killer's smile is tempered by a tinge of worry and fear. Exterior prison night. Killer steps through the gates with a small bag and a Bible. Worried, he looks around. There's no one there. He walks away, then seems to hear footsteps following. He stops and looks around. Doesn't seem to see anyone. Freaked, he hails a cab and it drives him away. Autumn leaves swirl after it. Interior room, night. Killer hangs a few crucifixes, blessings, other Christian paraphernalia around the walls of his bare room.
And he found himself a place to stay.
The killer sits cross-legged on a chair, reminiscent of the way he sat 30 years earlier.
And he determined to live a simple, joyous life in the years now left to him.
Asleep in bed, crucifix in hand, a dark shadow flits across his face. The killer wakes, startled, and looks around the room. There's no one there. The curtains flap in the half-open window. It was probably just this, he reasons, or relieved. Suddenly, the sound of footsteps running downstairs is heard. The killer jumps, opens his door, and looks downstairs. There's no one there, but the door is swinging open. He runs down and looks out. The foggy, lamplit street is empty. Back in his room, the killer sits cross-legged on his chair, fear written across his face. He cranes his neck and looks out his window. In amongst the swirling fog and a lamp in the far end of the street, the man in the hat stands, looking up.
A simple, joyous life was not what was left to him.
Interior, exterior, streets, day, night. Down both crowded and empty streets, by day and by night, the weary killer walks, always on edge, always looking behind him for the man in the hat, who is sometimes there, sometimes not. Sometimes at baseball games, sometimes at church fairs. At times, half mad now, the killer tries to catch him, or at least get a proper look at him, but always fails. As all this goes on, the killer gets older and older and older.
This went on for 20 fucking years, till finally the killer went mad.
Interior room, night. The killer, 20 years older, cross-legged on the chair, every inch of the walls behind him covered in Christian clutter. He cranes his neck, looks out the window, and sees the man in the hat at the distant streetlight, the roads strewn with winter snow.
And one winter night, while recalling a Catholic tract he'd read which stated that the only people guaranteed a place in hell, the only people guaranteed a place in hell, were not murderers, were not rapists, but were those who had died by their own hand.
The killer opens a cutthroat razor.
The killer accepted such an idea as beautiful, and he welcomed it, for he knew that at least in hell, the Quaker would not be there.
The killer holds up the razor to his throat. The man in the hat almost imperceptibly shakes his head, no. The killer slowly nods, yes, and deeply slices his throat from ear to ear.
So he cut his own throat open, and as the blood poured out of it, he looked out his window, and with his final breath, he whispered, "Now are you happy, old man? Now are you happy?" And the last thing the killer ever saw.
The man in the hat smiles almost imperceptibly as he takes out his own cutthroat razor.
Was the old man take out a cutthroat razor of his own,
The man in the hat puts the razor to his throat.
put it to his throat,
The man in the hat slowly cuts his own throat, blood slowly oozing out.
and slice.
As the man in the hat looks up at the window, the blood pouring out of him, title card, Psychopath number 2 appears. Fade to black as he bleeds. Interior Kaya's bedroom, night. Marty, in the chair beside the bed, puts the notepad aside and watches Kaya sleeping. He finishes the last of a bottle of wine, still watching her. An unopened bottle stands beside him. He picks it up, looks at it, looks at the beautiful Kaya, battling with himself whether or not to open it or go to bed. Kaya, still asleep, rolls onto her other side, away from him. Marty opens the new bottle quietly, guiltily, and pours himself a large glass. Exterior graveyard day. A double funeral for Tommy and Larry, their mothers crying, many dark-suited henchmen in attendance, including Paulo, Dennis, and Al. Their boss, Charlie Costello, stern-faced beside his beautiful girlfriend, Mari, who's crying quietly.
It's so unfair. They were right outside my place, Charlie. It could have easily been me.
Mm-hmm.
Oughtn't you go and say something to their moms?
Charlie winces.
Go on, Charlie. Go. Then we can go home.
Hey, don't push me, okay?
I wasn't pushing you, Charlie. I was nudging you.
Well, how's that any different? Nudging me, fucking idiot.
Charlie goes over to the mothers.
Charlie, why? Why our sons? Why?
Yes, I don't know why, but I want you both to know that when we get whoever did this, we're gonna crucify the motherfucker.
Oh my
Mr.
goodness.
Costello, please.
Killed. Yes, I want this man killed.
Yes, that's what I said. I said we're gonna crucify him. That would involve him being killed.
Killed. I want him.
Yes, I just said that.
Paulo approaches, perturbed, as Charlie hugs the mothers. Hey, Charlie? It's your dog, Charlie. He's Bonnie. Charlie quickly extricates himself from the mothers, their grief forgotten.
What about him? What's wrong with him?
He'd gotten lost somehow. Like Charisse was walking him and...
He's what? No, you're wrong. You piece of shit. Tell me you're wrong and you're fucking with me.
Rides over and gets in Charlie's face.
Would you keep your goddamn voice down? There are people grieving here. Fuck you, you potato head McFuck. My dog's lost.
Charlie grabs the priest's face, shoves him backwards into one of the graves, and strides away with his henchmen. Title, Psychopath number 3. As he walks away, Mari, dumbstruck. Interior Billy's apartment night. Billy, dressing for the party, checks himself out in a mirror, a little sadly, unhappy with his looks.
You're gonna have a nice time, Billy, tonight. You're having a nice time, Billy. Relax. He's your best friend, ain't he? And Kaya ain't so bad. It ain't her fault. She's a bitch. Be nicer to her. It must be hard being Asian American in this country, or whatever she is. Try not to be so judgmental. Try not to be so judgmental about Asians and blacks and people. You are, and you're judgmental. Oh, because there are facts. They can be human beings too, a lot of the time.
He pulls on his jacket, grabs the bottle of wine for the party, and gently strokes the 3-legged Shih Tzu that's lying on the couch, chewing a little toy.
Hey, Bonnie. Oh, we'll get back to your daddy in a day or two. Don't be sad. Oh, come on.
Bonnie gives a happy bark.
Oh, you're not sad. You're happy. Good.
Interior Kaya's apartment night. Party in full swing. Marty, pretty drunk already, but happy, gives Billy a hug of welcome. Kaya, irritated in the background.
Girlfriend couldn't make it, huh?
Billy just smiles. Marty does some weird dancing. Interior hospital room night. Hans and Myra.
You should go, Mr. Kozlowski.
It's Friday night in Hollywood, Mrs. Koslowski. Where else would I want to be but the cancer ward with my baby?
He kisses her at length.
I hope I ain't dying too soon. I want plenty more kisses.
You ain't dying, baby.
You think I'm gonna see Wendy again when I do?
We'll both see her again, Myra, but not anytime too soon.
You ever worry we was wrong all these years and there ain't no heaven and there ain't nothing?
Of course I worry.
You do?
God loves us. I know he does. He's just got a funny way of showing it sometimes.
Sometimes I think God's crazy sometimes. Stuff he lets happen, like he's gone psycho or something.
Well, He's had a lot to contend with in his time, too. Bastards killed his kid, too.
Don't say bastards, honey.
It's just a word, Myra.
I hope Wendy will still recognize me. He half the woman I was.
Hans holds her hand, tear in his eyes. Nothing he can say. Interior Kaya's apartment night. Party ongoing. Marty, good and drunk, relating the Quaker psychopath story to Billy, Kaya, and a couple of her friends.
The last thing the killer ever saw was the Quaker take out a cutthroat razor, put it to his own throat, and slice.
Approbation from Kaya at all, but Billy is perturbed by it.
It's a psychopath, as Gandhi-esque hero. It's what American movies need right now. Yeah. What's up, Billy? Don't you get it?
I get it.
You don't look like you get it. Maybe it ain't clear enough. Maybe I should have had you write it with me.
Maybe, Marty, you just drink too much.
What did you just say? Billy, you're a dog kidnapper. I'm taking advice on drinking from a fucking dog kidnapper, everybody.
I ain't no dog kidnapper, Marty. I'm an actor. That dog kidnapping is a part-time thing for a friend I'd rather not discuss right now.
Tell everybody who you think your father is.
Stop it, Martin.
Billy thinks his father is Travis Bickle from Taxi Driver.
I don't think that, but
He doesn't think his father is Robert De Niro, the actor, which, although unlikely, is within the realms of possibility. Billy thinks his father is a character Robert De Niro played in a movie. This is the extent of the psychosis with which we're dealing.
I think maybe you need to get on a 12-step program, Marty, then retrace all your steps.
I think maybe you need to get the fuck out of my party.
It's my party.
And you'll cry if you want to.
Marty goes off for another drink.
I'm sorry, Billy. Maybe you better go.
Yeah. Hey, Kaya, that Quaker story he just told us, I told that story to Marty in a bar about 2 months ago. A good friend of mine told it to me, so you know there might be copyright issues at the very least.
Kaya can see Billy's telling the truth. They look at Marty.
What are you looking at?
Marty's POV of Billy and Kaya as he takes a drink, glass entering frame. Slow fade to black as he does so. Interior Vegas hotel room night. A Vietnamese man dressed as a Catholic priest sitting on the edge of the bed, quietly staring into space. A neon sign flashes outside his window through the blinds. After a while, he reaches inside his jacket, takes out a snub-nosed .44, checks it's loaded, puts it back, and stares into space again. The toilet flushes. The Vietnamese priest remains staring into space. From the bathroom, a beautiful brunette hooker emerges, chewing gum, dressed only in red panties.
What you doing, honey? Ain't getting undressed?
If I could massacre every one of you, every man, woman, and child in this godforsaken country who helped tear mine apart, I would. I must focus, however, on the gruesome task I have in hand. And this is what I shall do now. This is what I shall do.
What you talking, honey? Chinese?
Vietnamese. Vietnamese.
Ah, Vietnamese. Didn't we have some big war with you with that one guys that one time?
Yes.
He reaches inside his... Go for it.
It isn't over.
He reaches inside his jacket for the .44. Title card. Psychopath number 4. Fade to black. Black screen. A screaming ansophone message is heard.
Hey, Billy, is this Billy? I'm gonna eat your heart off a plastic tray, Billy, you fuck. You understand me? This is your mother calling. This is your mother. You ain't got no fucking movie premiere. I'm gonna come over there and assassinate your bony ass.
Message clicks off as interior Billy's apartment day. Marty's POV, fade up as he awakens, bleary-eyed, to Bonnie the dog licking his face. End POV. Marty on the couch doesn't know quite where he is or how he got there. Billy comes out of the kitchen, chewing toast.
Toast?
What am I doing at your place, Billy?
Kaya threw you out.
What did Kaya throw me out for?
You called her a fucking bitch in front of all her friends.
I would never do that. No matter how drunk I got, not to her face.
Well, phone her up and see.
Huh?
Well, phone her up and see.
Phone her up and see, did I call her a fucking bitch in front of all of her friends to her face?
Yeah,
Well, I will.
will do.
Marty gets Billy's phone and tentatively dials a number.
Hello?
Hi, Kaya, it's me.
Phone is hung up and drones. Marty starts getting worried, tries to piece the evening together. He notices scrawled on the on his palm the words "dead relationship debris." He winces.
She's so mad. Is she still mad? You called her a fucking bitch in front of all her friends?
Marty redials. Kaya answers.
Honey, listen, I can't remember exactly what happened last.
The words, my girlfriend's a fucking bitch, mean anything to you?
Marty winces again.
And repeat it over and over. My girlfriend's a fucking bitch. That don't mean anything to you?
Kaya hangs up again and the phone drones.
I guess I called my girlfriend a fucking bitch in front of all her friends.
Oh, these things happen, Marty. Toast.
You get a new dog?
Interior torture room day. A plump girl, Charisse, sits chained to a chair, questioned by Charlie and his henchmen, Paulo, Dennis, and Al.
Where are you walking him, Sharface?
Charisse, I just said it,
Charisse. I'm
brother.
sorry, Charisse.
Lafayette Park, Mr. Costello. Please don't hurt me. I didn't mean to lose Bonnie. I just looked around and he was gone.
Like Abraham, Martin, and John, huh?
Like a dog would run off.
It was a genuine error, like Charisse. If it wasn't your fault and he just run off, why did you run off us? Hiss away 12 hours just to find your fat ass.
Well, I thought, you love your dog so much, Mr. Costello, and you're such an angry type of person. I thought you wouldn't listen to anything I had to say about losing Bonnie. You'd think it was all my fault and drag me back and tie me up and kill me.
Well, yeah, that was a pretty good. Yeah, and
Charlie takes out his gun, puts it to her head, and fires, but it jams badly. As the terrified Charisse looks on, he gives the gun to Al to unjam it.
You should get a new one, boss.
I know, but I like the handle, the blue. I'm sorry about this, Charisse. What is it? I don't oil it.
Please, Mr. Costello. I always took real good care of Bonnie.
Come on, Charisse. My gun's stuck. Don't take advantage.
Al gives Charlie his fixed gun back.
That Lafayette Park. There's been a bunch of dog kidnappings down there, I heard.
Charlie looks at Charisse, then at Dennis.
Yeah, this Norwegian chick I was banging, she got her dog back and been missing a couple of days. Gave the guy a big reward, but when she started thinking about it, there was something a little fishy about it. There was something a little fishy about the whole thing. She asked around. Same thing had happened to 3 other people around there.
And I'm sorry, Dennis. When were you going to mention this?
Don't get mad at me, Charlie. I mentioned it the first time I was fucking asked if I hadn't been looking for her fat ass all night.
Dennis, Al, could you make inquiries? Get my fucking dog back for me.
Sure, boss. What about Fatso?
Charlie looks at Charisse a while, then shrugs.
He still lost my fucking dog, man.
Charlie raises his gun and fires. A deafening shot is heard. Then, through the gun smoke, it's revealed he just shot at the wall behind her.
I'm kidding, Charisse. You can go.
Interior dog warehouse day. Marty nursing his hangover, Billy feeding the yapping dogs.
Do you remember telling everybody I think my daddy is Travis Bickle?
Marty puts his head in his hands.
Not only is that not what I actually believe, I told you that in confidence, Marty.
I think I might stop drinking for a while. It'll be good. I'll get some work on the Psychopaths done.
Shoot, did I leave any water in Bonnie's bowl? I don't think I left any water in Bonnie's bowl. I'll be back in a minute. Oh, Marty, there's something I think you might be mad at me, but I think in the long run, when you've had a chance to think about it, you're gonna thank me for it. It's in LA Weekly there in the classifieds there.
Billy goes out. Marty hurriedly flips to the classifieds.
Oh, fuck, Billy.
The ad reads, "Calling all psychopaths. Are you mental or deranged? Maybe you've recently been hospitalized, but are now okay. Or perhaps the world just doesn't understand you. I'm writing a screenplay with my friend called The Seven Psychopaths, and if your story is crazy and quirky enough, we may use it for our movie. Yes, payment is minimal. We are poor, but you will definitely be invited to the world premiere at Band's Chinese Theater, Los Angeles. Please telephone Billy Bickle on 310-255-7180. Marty, to put it mildly, is aghast. Exterior street day. Hans, carrying a dog through a poor neighborhood, checks his name tag against the clapboard house he's outside. Knocks on the door. A Hispanic guy answers, thrilled at the sight of the dog, who yelps happily as Hans hands him over. The Hispanic guy's children come up, delighted, crying. The guy passes the dog to them, tells Hans to wait, and goes inside. Hans watches the children with the dog, sickened at himself. The guy returns with $10, which he offers to Hans. Even more disgusted at himself, Hans refuses and walks away with his sad thoughts, happy family framed in the doorway. Interior car day. As Hans walks away from the house, Dennis and Al, following in their car, screech up beside him. Dennis jumps out, puts a gun to Hans's back, and bundles him into the car, and the car pulls off.
Where do you keep the dogs, old man?
What dogs?
Dennis severely clubs Hans across the head with his gun.
Second time. Where do you keep the dogs, old man?
228 Lincoln.
Car turns in that direction. Dennis indicates Hans's cravat.
What the hell's that?
A cravat.
A what?
A cravat.
You would have a cravat?
Al looks at the cravat, nods.
Like a handkerchief?
Al turns back to his driving, and they continue on in silence. Interior dog warehouse day. Marty is still looking at Billy's ad, sitting in a daze.
Billy gave out his own telephone number. Billy gave out all about a movie I ain't finished in the LA Weekly. How much more fucked up can my life get today?
The warehouse doors burst open. Hans is pushed in at gunpoint by Dennis and Al. Marty is aghast again, and the dogs go mad.
Who are you?
I'm Billy's friend.
Will you just keep out of our way, Billy's friend? Al, check the cages.
Al quickly does so, Uzi in hand, to no avail.
Yeah. You got it. Well, where is she, old man? A great Shih Tzu with a limpy little leg. Name of Bonnie.
Marty remembers the dog, terrified.
Gray Shih Tzu. We never had a Shih Tzu in here.
Suddenly, Dennis puts his gun to Hans's head.
You don't listen good the first time, do you, old man? Where's Bonnie?
I know where she is.
Al brings Marty over and puts a gun to his head, too.
Where?
She's...
Kid, I don't know who you are or why you're here. I don't know if you do know where this dog is or if you don't know where this dog is. But either way, have some pride in yourself. Have some faith in the Lord Jesus Christ. And don't tell nothing to these asswipe motherfuckers.
Dennis cocks his gun at Hans's head. Hans doesn't even flinch.
No, I'll tell you. I'll tell you.
Framed in the doorway behind Dennis and Al, the figure in a ski mask from page 1 enters, walks up behind them, and blows both their fucking heads off. The figure drops a jack of diamonds onto each of their bodies, civilly bows to Hans and Marty, turns, and walks out. Marty, covered in blood and brains, falls to the floor in a heap and pukes. Hans looks over at him and shakes his head.
Probably better get out of here.
Interior Billy's apartment day. Bonnie lapping water, Billy playing his messages.
Hello? Yeah, I'm a fucking psychopath, man. I'm goddamn crazy. I take drugs, man. I talk to the devil. I could freak you out with the kind of stories I got to tell you, man. So call me. My cell phone is 646-862-2224. Or you can get me at my mom's house. That's 310-6.
Billy deletes. Machine reads 36 messages remaining. Plays the next, wild guitar noises. Then, a sudden banging at the door. Billy opens it. A bloody Marty staggers onto the couch, Hans following.
Oh my God, what happened?
Some punks jumped us, said they were looking for a little Shih Tzu. Then some other punk came in and killed those punks.
I've only been gone for 2 minutes. You okay, Marty?
It's okay. It's their blood. His puke.
You want to go to the bathroom, Marty? Clean some of the blood and sick off of you?
Yeah, I'll go to the bathroom.
In a daze, Marty does so.
That's my writer friend I was telling you about.
I can smell the booze.
Hans sits, sees Bonnie, and lifts its floppy leg.
You got this little Shih Tzu, Billy.
Got it the night before last off of some dopey fat girl down Lafayette.
What, you gonna bring her in?
I was, Hans. The gold darn it, I started growing kind of fond of her and her spazzy little leg there. Why, you think she's the one they're after?
Hans reads Bonnie's tag. We see beneath the phone number are engraved the words,
My name is Bonnie. If found, please return to Charles Costello, or you will be killed. I think there's a possibility she's the one they're after, Billy.
Marty comes out, cleaned up a little. Hans places the Jack of Diamonds card he's picked up on the table. Billy looks at it in astonishment.
Marty, it's your psychopath, Marty. It's a Jack of Diamonds.
Can we all go to a nice bar and get a drink now, please?
Interior dog warehouse day. Close up on the other Jack of Diamonds on Dennis's body. It moves slightly, as Dennis does. He's still alive, though barely. He manages to press a number on his cell phone. Later, Charlie waiting anxiously as Paulo checks the dogs. Paulo signals, no, none are Bonnie. Charlie sighs with frustration. Dennis is still gurgling on the ground.
Okay, get this guy to a hospital. Get this guy disposed of. Get this room so it looks like nothing ever happened. And let's find the fuckers who've got my Bonnie.
Charlie storms out. You ain't been killing off half your men. Interior night car day. Hans, Marty, and Billy driving past the warehouse. Another henchman is guarding outside as Charlie comes out. Billy pushes Bonnie's head down out of sight.
He looks like a fucking psychopath.
Billy nods, happy about the fact. Exterior Hans's house day. Close up, name on the doorbell. Hans and Myra Kylaskowski. And close up. From Charlie's limo parked across the street, we see the henchman ransacking Hans's house, then Paulo leaving as he approaches. No Bonnie, boss. But I did find this. His wife's in the county hospital. Couldn't find a photo. Paulo hands Charlie a hospital letter. Charlie scans it and nods. The henchman set the house alight. They drive off. Exterior bar day. Outside the bar restaurant at Venice Beach sits Marty, Billy, and Hans. Marty finishes a beer and orders another, to Billy's disdain. Hans's thoughts are elsewhere. Billy has Bonnie in his lap and the Jack of Diamonds card in his hands.
Are we going to give him his dog back?
That guy forfeited all right ever having a nice dog like this.
Are we going to go to the police?
Fuck that shit.
Well, what are we going to do?
I think we try and find this Jack of Diamonds guy and get him to join the forces with us. And we could take on all the bad guys, like maybe in a desert or somewhere.
Uh-huh. And what do you think we should do in real life?
Well, we could sober up, Marty. How about that?
Fuck you. I almost got killed today.
Yeah, but you didn't, Marty. You never look on the bright side.
I'm gonna head to the hospital. I want to be with Myra when her results come in.
Give her my love, will you, Hans?
Hans nods and leaves.
Who's Myra?
His wife. She just had surgery for cancer. And you think you've got problems?
Marty glares at him, finishes another beer. Exterior street outside Billy's apartment day. Marty and Billy walking from car to the apartment.
You know what, Marty? The way you're feeling today, all depressed and shit, and all this stuff that's happened, all this drama, you know what you should do? Put it in your writing, man. Use it. Mad idea?
Thanks, Billy. I'll do that. I'll put the way I'm feeling into my writing, and I'll go blow my fucking brains out.
Come on, Marty. You know your writing helps alleviate your suicidal self-loathing and shit.
I don't have suicidal self-loathing and shit.
Yeah, right. Hey, who's this chump?
They stop warily as they see a very old guy waiting on Billy's stoop, a white rabbit in his arms. They walk by as if they're just passing. He smiles at them. They come back.
You waited for somebody, old guy?
Are you Billy Bickle?
No.
My name is Zachariah Rigby. I left a message on Billy's telephone in answer to his advertisement.
Marty sighs.
Well, I'll tell you this, Zachariah. If you sounded like a nut, I probably just deleted you.
I don't think I sounded like a nut.
Were you screaming about the devil and eating my heart off a tray?
No, gosh, oh no.
Okay, you seem normal. Come on upstairs. I've got to get this dog off the street because it's kidnapped.
Zachariah follows Billy upstairs. Marty cannot believe the insanity of today, but can do nothing else but follow. Interior Billy's apartment day. Zachariah on the couch, intrigued smile as Billy connects his brand new tape machine to Zach's lapel.
I got a distinct memory of seeing that tape machine before. I just can't remember where and I can't remember when.
I guess it ain't all that distinct then. Zachariah, unfortunately, I gotta run out and see my girlfriend now, but it's Marty, my writing partner, who will be doing most of the writing on the movie anyway, so if you just tell him your story in your own time.
What? You ain't leaving me with him, Billy. You ain't got a girlfriend. He ain't got a girlfriend.
Like I'd say I have a girlfriend when I don't have a girlfriend. That'd be insane. So you're all set, Zach. It's voice activated, so just start telling your crazy stuff. And Marty, take care of Bonnie, and you guys have fun. I'll be home very soon.
Billy hurries out, leaving Marty and Zach. Bonnie and the rabbit sit there looking at each other a while.
Zachariah, I got to tell you, this isn't really Billy. He gets these funny ideas, being a writer isn't really, you don't really listen. Why don't you start telling the tape whatever you want to tell it, and I'll make us a coffee and we'll see how we go, huh?
Well, that'd be swell. And when I tell you my story and you use it in your movie, well, instead of any monetary reward, there's one little favor I gotta ask of ya. Would that be okay?
Why don't you just go and tell me your story, Zach, and we'll work that stuff out later.
Marty goes through to the kitchen, flips the kettle on, and puts his head in his hands as he listens to.
Dandy. Well, I guess it all began back when I was 21 years old. The distant mists of time. Yeah, well, I'll tell you, I was kind of wet behind the ears back then. I don't mind admitting, and I was burglarizing the house of a judge out there in Delacroix and hanging Judge Parsons. I found out later who his name was, and let me tell you, don't never burglarize the house of no hanging judge, because when I was burglarizing his house, I went down to his basement there, and guess what I come across? I come across the corpses of 2 girls chained up there, and the half-dead body of another girl chained right along with them.
The stunned Marty looks back with coffees and starts listening to Zach with the attention he deserves.
Thank you kindly. Well, the girl's name was Maggie, and boy, did we get the hell of that place quick. And Maggie told me all about this judge who drug her, therefore, from the colored orphan asylum she grew up in, and the terrible things he'd do to her. And I got to thinking, golly, this ain't right. Us running off and letting that old judge go and do the same thing to some other girls. So you know what we did?
You went to the police?
No, we drove back there. We got that hanging judge, and we hung him by his neck till he was dead and made it look like a suicide. That's when Maggie and me got the idea. See?
What idea?
We got the idea to go around the country killing people who go around the country killing people. Serial killer killing. I guess nowadays it'd be called.
Can I just check this is on?
Zach smiles as Marty checks the tape machine is working. It is. Marty sits, nods at Zach to go on, and starts taking some serious notes. Exterior, rural road beside phone booth, 1940s night. Zachariah, mid-30s, in a car, gun in hand, waiting for Maggie, 30s, to finish on the phone. Texas plains stretching into the horizon as dusk falls. Interior phone booth night. Maggie listening on the phone as Zachariah waits. She writes down Lover's Lane, Texarkana, Moonlight Murderer. She hangs up, goes to the car, checks the canoe strapped to the roof with odd metal tubes, then gets in the car. They kiss and drive off. Exterior Lover's Lane night. A creepy wooded lane by moonlight, the car parked, Zachariah and Maggie inside. Stranger's POV through the trees, slowly approaching the car. Interior car night. Zachariah and Maggie smooching. Suddenly, a hooded stranger sits up in the back seat, puts a gun to Zach's head, and gestures to drive into the woods. Zach does so. Gun still to Zach's head, the stranger touches Maggie's right breast as she's backed against the door. Slowly, she takes his hand and puts it on her left breast too, smiling. The confused stranger looks at Zach. Zach shrugs. Maggie indicates to the stranger the string hanging from the roof above him. He can't work out what it's for. She pulls it. Suddenly, a flap on the roof over the back seat falls, releasing a cascade of liquid that covers the stranger, and which, as his hood starts smoking and his body starts melting, we realize is acid. Exterior woods night. The couple standing outside the car, watching the stranger thrashing, melting to death. He tries to reach out through the window, but his hand falls off. Maggie throws it back in through the window, then tosses a lit match inside. The car bursts into flames, the stranger obliterated. Zach empties 6 bullets into him for good measure. Maggie places a tick beside Texarkana, Moonlight Murderer. The two head off hand in hand like young lovers do, the blood-red moon shining above them. Interior Billy's apartment day. Zach, present day, reminiscing happily, feeds the rabbit a carrot. Marty makes frantic notes, checks internet details of the actual cases: Texarkana, Moonlight Murderer, Mad Butcher of Kingsbury Run, all the photos and artist impressions of hooded killers, butchered corpses, many dating back to the 30s. Exterior, Kingsbury Run wasteland, 1930s night. A hobo looking for food among the junk of the steep-sided wasteland finds a large prist with the lid off. A human head stares up at him from inside. Suddenly, something falls on him from the bank above, the torso of a headless man. The hobo lies stock still and watches as above the massive silhouetted butcher slowly moves away, sighing. Newspaper inserts, 6th corpse found in Kingsbury, with a photo of it and of Elliot Ness, under which we read, and Mr. Ness appears no nearer to apprehending the butcher than in 1933 when his ghoulish reign of horror first began. Exterior Cleveland phone booth, 1950s night. Maggie and Zachariah, aged 40. Maggie is in the booth taking notes, Zachariah in a convertible beside it, more weary than he once was. Maggie's note reads only, Sandusky Lunatic Asylum. Interior Lunatic Asylum dormitory night. Sounds of sawing, hysterical screams of 10 patients, all thrashing wildly against the straps that pin them to their beds as they crane their heads to see. Then look away from Maggie and Zach as Maggie slowly saws through the neck of the butcher, mid-60s, also strapped to his bed. The butcher is talking to her quietly as his neck is being sawed through. Zach turns away, gestures they should just shoot him. Maggie gently puts a finger to his lips for him to shush, kisses him, then goes back to sawing. Interior white tile room, 1960 day. Sounds of hacking and screaming. Maggie amongst the dreadful remains of victims of the acid bath killer, half heads with nothing below the eye line, a solitary ear with an earring, etc. She's sad for these women, touches them with love. Slow pan to the source of the screams. The acid bath killer, strapped to a metal chair, having his feet, then his shins, then his knees hacked off by Zach. Maggie enters frame, carrying half a head, machete in the other hand. Pan down past a newspaper on the bloody floor, 4th Abbeville woman abducted, no clues, to a note in Maggie's writing that reads, Abbeville acid killer, and a tick beside it. Suddenly, the screams cease. The killer's head rolls onto and off the note, blood blotting out everything. Exterior San Francisco phone booth, 1980s night. Zachariah, mid-60s, standing beside his car near the Golden Gate Bridge, impatient. Maggie in the booth on the phone writes down the single word, Zodiac, and smiles. Zach suddenly bursts into the booth and tries to grab the phone, but she won't let him. He pins her by the neck against the glass, and from the shock on her face, it's obvious it's the first time he's ever been violent with her. Zach listens to the voice on the phone. His face falls. He mouths the words, Who is this? The answer horrifies him. He looks at Maggie. She looks away. He hangs up, scared. They get into the car and drive off, Zach shaken to the core. Exterior Rabbit Lawn day. An old hippie type in sandals, long white hair, sitting cross-legged on a bright green grass in front of his clapboard house, playing with a number of rabbits. They eat from his hand, they sit on his lap, they seem very tame around him. Car pulls up. Maggie gets out, machete in one hand, gun in the other. Zach gets out reluctantly. This guy seems as innocent as his bunnies. Maggie orders the hippie inside his house. The hippie complies, scared, a white rabbit in his arms. Interior hippie's kitchen day. Books on Buddhism and rabbit care dotted around. The hippie sits immobile on his table, crying in pain and fear as Maggie screams at him. Both his hands have been pinned to the table with Bowie knives. The rabbit's pretty little nose sniffing at the blood oozing from them. Zach is standing on the side squeamishly as the hippie answers no to all of her questions. Maggie starts pouring gasoline all over him, some splashing the rabbit. Zach picks it up in his arms, shouting at Maggie for being so careless. The hippie nods for Zach to take the rabbit to safety. Zach nods, touched. We follow him outside just as the hippie goes up in flames behind him. The rabbit hops happily across the lawn. Zach cannot bring himself to look back into the fire. Exterior rabbit lawn night. A somber Maggie and Zach on the stoop, the rabbits all around as the light from the hippie still burns in the windows. She goes to hold his hand, but he withdraws it. She takes off her wedding ring and tosses it away. Walks to the car, puts her gun in her belt, tosses her machete into the back seat, gives one last sad look at him, and drives away. He watches her go. The white rabbit hops into his arms. Interior hippie kitchen night. Fire goes out on the hippie's charred skeleton still pinned there, and Zach puts the rabbit on the table and goes upstairs. Interior hippie's bedroom night. Zach sitting on the bed, in his hands the moth-eaten but still distinctive hood and costume of the 1970s Zodiac killer. Cryptograms cover the walls, along with maps, photos, and newspaper reports detailing his numerous victims. Interior Billy's apartment day. Marty zapping through the internet. We see the words he sees. Texarkana moonlight murderer. Killings suddenly ceased in 1946. Mad butcher of Kingsbury Run. Killings ended in 1938. No one ever arrested. Zodiac killer. Murders ceased in 75. Presumed incarcerated, committed, or dead. Marty looks at the frail old man on the couch as Zach takes the mic from his lapel.
If the film gets made, Zach, would you be looking for some kind of credit or?
No, I've got plenty of credit. There's one thing I'd like you to do for me, though. I'd like you to put up a little message at the end of your movie there and put my telephone number on it. And tell Maggie to call me. And that I love her. And that I've missed her something awful. Would you do that, Martin?
I'll do that, Zach.
Do you promise?
I promise on my life.
Wow. That's some promise.
They shake, and Zach leaves with his rabbit waving. Marty sits, stunned, rewinds the tape. His notepad is covered in scrawled notes, dates. As we scan these, we listen to parts of the tape.
Maggie kept one of his shins, if I recall.
Rewind to.
In our business, you tend to have to break into quite a lot of asylums if you want to get your man.
Fast forward to.
Someone said she's working in Jerez now, but I couldn't find her there.
Juarez, anyway. Fast forward to.
Juarez, my bad.
Who is she making the telephone calls to?
Well, for a long time, I believed, because there was what Maggie told me, I believed that it was Jesus making those calls, obviously, because Jesus don't want no bunch of dirty murderers going around killing folks. But then I got to thinking about it and to worrying about it, and I grabbed that telephone one time to voice my concerns to Jesus about it. And you know what? It wasn't Jesus at all on that phone. You know who it was?
Who?
It was the goddamn devil on that phone. Yeah, the goddamn devil incarnate. And I couldn't figure it out for the life of me. Why would the devil want all those murders dead? Surely they were doing his business, but no, he wanted them croaked. And you know what the really crazy thing about the devil's voice on that phone was? It was exactly the same as my voice. Yeah, exactly the same as my voice. I couldn't figure it out. Still can't figure it out.
Marty clicks the tape off and lets it rewind to the start, stunned by all he's heard. Turns to a fresh page, writes Psychopath number 5 and number 6. The tape has rewound now and plays it from the start, a conversation from days ago.
Oh, how come you haven't been invited to our party Friday night?
Yeah?
Well, mostly because my girlfriend's a fucking bitch.
Oh, I see. I thought maybe she just had issues or something.
No, she's a fucking bitch.
I see.
Marty switches the tape off.
Motherfucker.
Interior hospital room day. Myra at the window, crying a little, looking out at the blue skies, no one else in the room. The door creaks open. Charlie enters, silenced gun behind his back. He sees Myra and the two empty beds, one with the name Myra Kleiskowski at the foot of it, the one with Georgia Brown.
Can I help you?
No, I was looking for a Polish lady, Miss Kajkowski. Do you know where she is?
She's having an operation.
Charlie Tutts looks at his watch, not caring that he's revealed his silenced gun.
How long is that gonna take?
I don't know.
Charlie sits in a chair, puts his gun away.
What do you want Mrs. Koslowski for?
Her husband's got something belongs to me.
Oh. You gonna shoot her?
No. Shoot her. No, I'm just gonna scare her so she tells me where her husband's at and where my dog's at.
What if she don't know?
Well, then I'm gonna get mad.
Myra sits on George's bed.
Can I go use the bathroom?
I think you better wait around here for a while. Do it in a pan or something.
I can wait. I don't use no pants.
Suit yourself. This room smells of death. No offense.
Exterior hospital day. Hans enters the hospital, a bunch of flowers in hand. Interior hospital room day. Charlie sits waiting, checking his nails. Myra glances at the door. There's a dull pause.
What's your dog's name?
Bonnie.
That's a nice name. I'm sure Mr. Koslowski will take good care of your dog. Get it back to you safe. He always seems like a sweet man when he comes in.
Can you come to visit her a lot?
Every day.
Every day, huh? What kind of times every day?
Oh, different times, and not every day. He misses a day now and then.
Oh, yeah?
Charlie looks her over, looks at the unmade bed beside her.
He been in today?
Yeah, he come by earlier this morning, about 10 or so.
So the Pollock married the Pollock married, huh?
Myra pauses, a little scared, then smiles, thinking of Hans.
Yeah, the Pollock married.
Where is he now?
I don't know.
Where's my dog?
I don't know.
Goodbye, Mrs. Krakowski.
Goodbye, Hans.
Charlie shoots her through the head, killing her instantly. Interior hospital waiting room corridor day. Hans, hat on, flowers in hand, walks through the waiting room and into the corridor, just as, at the far end of it, Charlie comes out of Myra's room and into the corridor, joins Paulo, and heads in Hans's direction. Hans pulls his hat a little lower over his eyes, heart pounding, continuing on. As the two gangsters get closer, he begins to catch their conversation.
The fuck are you talking about, Paulo? I ain't leaving. I'm gonna sit here till that dog thief motherfucker comes in screaming.
As they're about to pass, the two lower their voices. Slow-mo as they pass. Hans gets a good look at Charlie. Charlie gets a good look at Hans. Slow-mo ends. As Hans comes up to the room marked Myra Kleiskowski, Georgia Brown, he decides to continue on past it, just as Charlie looks around, checks to see if Hans has entered the room. He watches him continue to the end of the corridor, then carries on with Paulo into the waiting room, just as Hans looks back along the corridor, sees it safe, and doubles back into his wife's room. Interior hospital room day. Hans holding his dead, bloody wife in his arms on the floor. He isn't crying, he isn't afraid, he isn't angry. He's quiet, thoughtful, contemplative even. He even smiles once, thinking of her. He kisses her lips a final goodbye. Interior hospital waiting room day. Hans enters and sees Charlie sitting there, flipping through Cosmo impatiently as he keeps an eye on the entrance. Hans sits in the chair across from him, barely 4 feet away. Charlie nods a slight hello. Hans nods one back. Charlie focuses on the magazine and the door again. Hans looks Charlie over, face, hands, clothes, trying to figure out what manner of man this is. Charlie senses it and looks back.
You looking at something?
Hans shakes his head, a slight smile. Charlie notices the couple of patches of blood on Hans's hands.
You hurt?
A little.
Hans keeps looking him over. Charlie notices his cravat.
What's that?
A cravat.
It's nice. It's very chic.
Have it.
Hans undoes his chic cravat.
No, really.
Have it.
Hans pulls it off and offers it to Charlie. And as he does, we see for the first time on Hans's throat the deep, deep scar, perhaps 10 years old, from where he once slit it from ear to ear. Disgusted by it, irritated by the offer.
Don't want your cravat, man.
Charlie gets up and leaves through the entranceway. Hans sits there a while, quietly, ties his cravat back on, covering the scar, and goes over to the receptionist. We don't hear his words, but from her face, and by her rushing off to Myra's room, we understand what's been said. Hans sits there quietly, looks at the flowers in his hands that he now has no use for, lays them on the desk, and looks at the door Charlie passed through. It slowly swings to a stop. Interior Kaya's apartment, night. Kaya pissed, waiting for Marty to finish.
Hear me out, Kaya. One question. At the party, when I said you were a fucking bitch, did I just come out and say it? Just come out and say, Kaya, you're a fucking bitch.
Of course you didn't just come out and say it. It was on the tape that Billy played.
I knew it.
To come out and say it would have taken guts.
Huh?
So you're going to blame all this on Billy now?
Of course I'm going to blame all this on Billy now. It's all Billy's fault.
So that isn't your voice on the tape?
Huh?
That isn't your voice on the tape? That isn't your voice on the tape calling me a fucking bitch? Calling me a fucking bitch over and over and over?
Twice, Kaya.
Well, forgive me if I stop listening after the first 2 times, Martin.
I'll stop drinking, Kaya.
Cool, I'll stop breathing. We'll see who lasts longest. Now please leave.
I almost got killed today.
Not my problem.
That's fucking Billy.
Interior Mari's house, day. Billy having sex with someone. We can't see who it is at first, then realize it's Mari, Charlie's girlfriend.
What's wrong, honey?
Oh, that was my line, Billy. But what's wrong, honey?
Damn it. I don't think I can keep it no more, Marty. I hate these goddamn condoms.
Then take it off, baby. Let's go natural.
Natural, but you're still screwing that mafia guy. God knows what shit that guy's giving you.
Well, then get the fuck off of me, Billy.
She pushes him off and storms into the next room.
What? It didn't mean AIDS or nothing. It meant gonorrhea or something. Chlamydia.
Living room. Dusk falling, Mari on the couch, flipping channels, pissed. Billy comes out of the bedroom, dressed.
3 weeks I ain't seen you, and that's the way you're gonna talk to me?
I've been busy, honey. I've been busy helping you out, if you must know.
Oh, what are you talking about?
Well, you said your wacko boyfriend loves his dog more than anything, right?
Mari puts her hands to her mouth in horror.
Billy, you gotta give it back. Scroll.
Give it back? What are you talking about? It's kidnapped. It's a kidnapped dog. You don't just back a kidnapped. You don't just give back a kidnapped dog. It defeats the entire object. They didn't just give Patty Hearst back, did they? No, I'm gonna hold on to it until he starts behaving like a normal, decent human being.
The guy's a psychopath, Billy.
That's really no excuse, Mari. And what are you doing screwing a psychopath in the first place? Did you ever ask yourself that?
What am I doing screwing 2 psychopaths? Did you ask yourself that? Is that the question?
Huh?
Interior intensive care ward, night. Paulo leaning over the barely breathing Dennis, trying to hear what he's saying. Charlie getting irritated, a nurse trying to usher them out.
What's he? Tell him to speak up.
Sir, if you don't leave now, I'm going to call the police.
We are talking to our friend and get some information before he dies, okay?
Paulo comes away from Dennis, takes Charlie's arm, and ushers him out. Nothing.
Nothing. He had the whole like an hour and he don't remember nothing. Was he fat? Was he old?
Nothing. He had some kind of a neckerchief on. That's all he got. Charlie, for the first time, knows what the dog thief looks like. He sighs deeply. Interior Billy's apartment night. Hans on the couch, sad, tired, stroking Bonnie, whose head rests on his lap. Marty comes in, still steamed.
Is Billy back yet?
Hans shakes his head.
I'm not sure when it started, and I'm not sure why it started, but it does appear that of late, Billy Bickle has been doing everything in his power to fuck up my entire life. So what I'm going to do when he comes home, I'm going to go kick his stupid fucking teeth in.
Sound very angry.
You wouldn't believe the kind of day I've had.
Me too. Maybe I better call him, see he's okay.
Yeah, why don't you call him, see he's okay, so I can go kick his stupid fucking teeth in?
Interior Maury's house night. Marty goes to the phone and dials.
I'm gonna call Charlie. Clear this entire thing up.
No, you ain't either.
Billy's cell phone rings. He answers as Maury dials a number.
Hi, Hans. How are you? Mari?
Hi, Charlie.
Interior Billy's apartment night.
Fine, Billy. We're just a little worried about you. You're late home is all.
Interior Maury's house night.
I'm fine. Hey, did Mari get the results back?
Interior Billy's apartment night.
Yeah, the results came back. She got the all clear.
Oh, it's great, Hans. I'm so happy for you guys.
Well, no. That gangster guy whose dog we got, he came down and he killed her.
Interior Maury's house night. Life drains from Billy as he listens to Maury in the next room.
He what?
I guess he must have found out the connection somehow. He came down and shot her in the head in the hospital there.
I'll be with you in 10 minutes, Hans.
Billy hangs up, watches Maury on her phone, hearing.
I know, Charlie. I love you too. I just don't know what's been wrong with me lately.
Billy puts something in Maury's hand and hangs up her phone. She looks at the thing, confused. Billy shoots her in the stomach, point blank, then goes and sits back down. Maury smiles at her stares at her bloody midriff in disbelief. Interior Billy's apartment night. Hans has just hung up. Marty goes over and sits beside him. Marty starts crying. Hans pats his knee gently.
We'll be okay.
Interior Maury's house night. Maury's on the opposite couch, speechless, blood all over her white dressing gown, looking back and forth from the thing in her hand to Billy, who dials a number.
Could you send an ambulance to 2618 Mountain Drive? Gunshot wound to the stomach. Thank you.
Title card, Psychopath number 7. The thing in Maury's hand is revealed to be the Jack of Diamonds. And so, to the Psychopath number 7 title card on Billy are added the words, and number 1.
So don't say I never do nothing for you.
Interior Billy's apartment night. Hans asleep with Bonnie. Marty pulls a blanket over them and goes into Billy's room, looks through things on his desk. Interior Charlie's car night. Charlie and Paolo speeding through the LA night, Billy's name and address on a scrap of paper. Interior Billy's apartment night. Marty looks through Billy's stuff, absentmindedly holding a deck of cards Billy left lying around. He comes across a notebook marked Billy's Diary, keep out. He hesitates, then turns to the first page, on which is scrawled, I am the person I always wanted to be. I do not want to cut my own hands off. Marty guiltily starts going through the diary. Interior Billy's car night. Billy speeds homeward, goes through his glove box, some decks of cards, 3 handguns with labels attached, the ski mask from C1. from scene 1. He finds a Snickers, eats it. Yum. Interior Billy's apartment night. Marty reading the diary, kind of saddened.
Friday 19th. What did you do to help Marty today? Nothing. That's what you did. Some friend you turn out to be.
Marty flips a few pages.
Laugh diary. Made Hans laughs 2 times today. Hedgehog. Pato. Can't talk. Full marks to me because Myra's having her surgery Sunday. Made Marty laugh 4 times. My trip to San Diego Zoo. But only half marks because he was pretty drunk. Note to Billy, stop being so judgmental about his drinking. So what if he forgets most of what you say to him? Probably it isn't interesting in the first place. Did you ever consider that?
Flips a page.
Monday 24th. Watch the shadow of flagpole across next door's lawn from 10 in the morning till 6 in the evening. Other people have work to go to. Other people have social lives. Other people do not think about death this much. Or do they? Perhaps they do. I should ask them.
Flips a page.
Works out more ways of being a better friend to people. Hans, do more odd jobs around the place. Maybe take a pay cut. Mari, make sure she realizes she is loved and is worthwhile. Who just got involved with the wrong kind of scum. Kaya, she is the girl Marty loves, so try to get along with her. Deep down, she's possibly not a cunt. Listen to her side of the story. Remember, she is Asian and hence different to you. Marty, do everything to keep his mind on track about the 7 psychopaths. He is probably the best writer of his generation, but he needs to stay focused. The ad in the LA Weekly is a good idea. Go for it. But do not bother him anymore about writing the screenplay with him. When he wants your help, he will ask for it. If he doesn't want your help, well, that's the way the cookie crumbles, fat boy.
Flips to a page headlined "The Day of Reckoning." There are bloody fingerprints all over this page, but Marty and we don't have time to read further as suddenly the sound of a car screeching up outside is heard. Marty goes to the window. Down below, Billy is at his car, indicating for them to get in quickly. Marty replaces the diary and cards and hurries out of the room. As the door shuts, a couple of the 50 packs of playing cards stacked behind it topple over. Interior Charlie's car night. Charlie and Paulo screech a couple corners, stop outside of Billy's apartment, and jump out, guns drawn. Interior Billy's apartment night. Billy's apartment's empty, save for Charlie and Paulo. Charlie on the couch, sadly, tearily, smelling the blanket Bonnie was wrapped in. Paulo, searching the place, finds a framed photo of Billy and Marty and Billy and Hans, all happy.
What do we do now, Paulo? I'm at my wit's end now. I just don't know what to do.
First, we speak to Mari, see what else she knows. Where they might have gone to. Interior, or insert. Mari dead and going blue on her couch, cops milling around. End insert. She doesn't know, then we're gonna just have to wait until they get in touch. Bonnie ain't no good to him dead.
Please, Paulo, don't say Bonnie and dead in the same thing. Please, I'm already finding it difficult enough to cope.
I'm sorry, Charlie.
Why do people have to be like this? I don't know.
Paulo hands Charlie 3 or 4 packs of playing cards. Charlie flips through them. Every jack of diamonds is missing. Charlie hugs the dog blanket closer to him, shaking his head.
Guy's a fucking psychopath.
Interior Billy's car night. Billy driving, Marty beside him, Hans and Bonnie in the back seat, sleeping.
He's so calm. Man, if I just had my wife murdered, I think I'd be,
Angry.
yeah.
Furious.
Yeah.
That's Hans, man. He's a proper Christian, a proper old-time Christian. Not like these fucks nowadays, I feel bad, man. I kind of feel like all this was my fault, I kidnapped the guy's dog and all.
Come on, Billy. How could you have known it was that psycho's dog?
Billy squints a little guiltily. Marty doesn't see it.
Hey, how was the old guy with the rabbit?
Interesting.
Yeah? So the ad I put it was a good idea after all, huh?
I don't know if this was a good idea.
Marty plays a few seconds of the Kaya is a bitch tape.
Are you mad at me, Marty? I was only trying to get you out of a horrible relationship with a bitch.
Marty looks at him, smiles.
You want to help me write 7 Psychopaths, Billy?
Are you serious?
I thought I could bounce some ideas off you. You could tinker around with some bits and pieces. We could see how we go.
I would love that, Marty. I would love that. Wow. So what's happening with the Jack of Diamonds guy in the movie? I like that guy.
I've kind of lost track of that guy a little.
Well, maybe I could help write about that guy. Try to get it inside his brain because I think he's going to be one of your best characters. I really do. I think he's going to be really, really, really good.
Marty nods, smiles, slightly.
You know what? I think I'm going to stop drinking till the movie's done.
Billy's even more happy. Interior bar night. Billy with a map giving directions from a barman to the Joshua Tree National Park. Marty and Hans at the booth, a couple of soft drinks between them.
You don't drink, Hans?
Not really. Billy has some peyote I might try later, though.
Oh, is that a good idea?
Hans shrugs, has a drink.
I'm really sorry about your wife, Hans. But I guess she's in heaven now, right?
Believe in heaven?
Not really.
Hans nods, an uncomfortable pause.
I'm not sure what I believe. You know, I put a lot of heaven and hell stuff in my stories, but I'm not sure what I believe.
Why don't you tell me one of your heaven and hell stories, Martin?
Billy said he didn't think you'd like them much.
I like stories.
Okay, let's see. This is a kind of a heaven and hell one. It's more of a hell one. It's about this Quaker psychopath.
Hans smiles, sits back, and listens more comfortably.
And it goes like this.
Interior bar later. Billy returns to Hans and Marty just in time to hear.
And this went on for 20 straight years until the killer finally went mad. Yet somewhere in his mental mind, he recalled from some Catholic tract he'd read that the only ones sure to go straight to hell are those who die by their own hand.
Stop.
And he took out a
Stop.
cutthroat razor. What, Billy?
Hans is smiling, both the story and Billy's discomfort.
Yeah. What, Billy?
I just don't think it's a very nice story, that's all.
I like it. I want to know what happens at the end. Carry on, Martin, please.
Yeah, so the killer took out a cutthroat razor and he looked out his window, and the Quaker was still out there looking up. And as the killer cut his throat from ear to ear, he whispered, "Now are you happy, old man? Now are you happy?" And the very last thing that the killer ever saw
Killer episode.
was the old man take out a cutthroat razor of his own,
As Marty speaks, Hans slowly undoes his cravat.
put it to his own throat.
Hans's cravat slips off. Marty stares at the horrific wound.
And slice.
Marty stares, nodding, dumbstruck.
Very good story, Martin.
Marty, mouth agape, looks over at Billy, who just looks away.
I told you not to tell him no stories, didn't I? Specifically that fucking one.
Interior Billy's car, night. Billy driving, Bonnie in the passenger seat, looking out at the strange windmills that litter the desert countryside. In the back, Hans is still amused, Marty disconcerted.
Some of the details in your story aren't exactly right, of course. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily call myself a psychopath, Martin, you know? And,
Interior emergency room, night. Insert doctors patching Hans's spurting neck as Hans tries to stop them doing so.
I didn't go to hell, obviously. I don't know if he did. Yet.
Exterior Summer Meadow, 1950 day. Insert a repeat of the Summer Meadow scene, page 11. But the dead daughter in the white dress is picked up and carried into the church by the man in the hat is black.
The daughter was black. I don't think you mentioned that.
Interior exterior various day and night. Insert in repeats of various images of the man in the hat following the killer outside the prison yard, on the foggy lamplit streets, and creepily standing outside of the killer's room, looking down on him as he sleeps, are Hans and Myra.
And I wasn't on my own the whole time following the guy. You couldn't do that kind of work all on your own, you know?
The killer wakes. The couple have gone. And insert ends. Interior Billy's car at night.
What was it like all those years?
Kinda dull. Murders, they tend to be kind of dull. But it had to be done. Or I thought it had to be done. Not so sure anymore.
Well, of course it had to be done. He killed your kid. You had to fuck him over by any means necessary.
Well, as Gandhi said,
Oh, you guys, if it ain't Gandhi, it's Jesus Christ.
well, as Gandhi said, an eye for an eye leaves the whole world blind. I believe that.
Marty nods. Billy thinks about it a while.
No, it doesn't. There will be one guy left with one eye. How's the last guy gonna take out the eye of the last guy left with one eye? All he has to do is hide. Gandhi was wrong. I'm just the only one with balls enough to say it.
Hans, I'm trying to write a screenplay about the kind of things you're talking about. Would you like to help me write it?
What? You said I could help you write it.
We can all help write it.
He doesn't even want to help it. His wife just died.
I don't mind helping, as long as it's not going to be too violent.
Of course it's going to be too violent.
That's the whole point. I told you 20 times, Billy. I don't want it to be violent. I want it to be decent and life-affirming.
Life-affirming, schmife-affirming. It's about 7 fucking psychopaths. Well, it will be when you come up with another 7 psychopaths.
No, you know what I think the movie should be? The first half should be like a perfect setup for a pure out-and-out revenge movie. Violence, anger, all the usual bullshit. The limpy leg dog will even be in it. Then, I don't know, man. The lead characters should just like this, they should just walk away, just drive off into the desert, pitch a tent somewhere pretty and just talk. The rest of the goddamn movie, no shootouts, no payoffs, no nothing. Just human beings talking.
Just human beings talking.
Yeah.
No shootouts.
Marty shakes his head.
Well, I guess it's your fucking movie, man. I guess it's your fucking movie.
They drive on, passing the welcome center of the Joshua Tree National Park. A little way in, as they pass a strange, beautiful rock formation, the Bobbly Outcrop, admiring its strangeness as they pass.
Wow. Now, if you were going to have a shootout, that'd be the perfect place. I know. We're not going to have a shootout. I'm just saying, geez.
Exterior, desert day. Early blue dawn in the national park. Animals, insects, flowers, stunning nature awakens on another blue-skied day, amongst which a tent has been pitched. A little way away sits Hans, watching the black skies turn to blue, half a screenplay on his knees, a photo of Myra in his hand. The car is parked close by. Interior, tent day. Marty in a sleeping bag is awakened by the scritchety scratch of pencil on paper. Billy is sitting there beside him, writing away, Bonnie helping.
What you doing?
I'm writing about the Jack of Diamonds. I'm calling him the Jack of Diamonds, like the Jacko apostrophe diamonds.
Oh, has he killed anybody else yet?
Unbeknownst to everybody, he's just shot his girlfriend in the stomach, but for all the right reasons.
Oh.
Oh, hey, Marty. I know you said no shootouts, and I think that's a good idea, but can I have like a one shootout, one itsy bitsy little shootout?
Why don't you have one itsy bitsy little shootout, buddy? Knock yourself out.
Oh, can I have it in the cemetery?
Marty sighs, nods, and gets up.
I won't lay you down, Marty.
Billy continues writing, scritchety scratch. Exterior, desert day. Marty surveys the beauty of the dawn, goes over to Hans, who's looking off in the distance.
Why do we all keep killing each other?
Huh? Fuck, I don't know, Hans. Most of us don't. Most of us just try to get along.
I've been reading a movie.
Uh-huh. What do you think?
Well, your women characters are awful. None of them have anything to say for themselves. All of them are wives or girlfriends. Most of them either get shot or stabbed to death within 5 minutes. Ones that don't probably will later.
Well, it's a hard world for women, I guess that's what I'm trying to.
Yeah, yeah, it's a hard world for women. But most of the ones I've met can string a sentence together.
The Kaya character can string a.
Oh, the fucking bitch.
Didn't you like anything in it?
I do like it, Martin. I think the characters, they're quirky. I like the situations, they're intriguing. I want to know what happens next. It's very sellable, but I wouldn't call it life affirming.
I think anything made with brains and heart is life affirming, no matter how black the subject matter, no matter how badly written the women characters are, or if they get shot or not.
Hey, I'll tell you who I'm intrigued by. This Vietnamese priest with the gun and the hooker. Is it like a dream sequence?
No, dream sequences are for queers. That priest guy, I know his story and can end up in nothing but carnage and horror. I didn't even want to get it out of my head. See,
Interior Vegas hotel room night. Repeat images of the Vietnamese priest on the edge of the bed, priest attire, gun in hand, neon blinds, staring into space.
see, he's not even a priest. I just like the image of a Vietnamese guy in a priest's outfit and a snub-nosed 44. It's cool. Anyway, his story is.
A thought bubble appears above the Viet priest's head, in which the following image appears, and which we move into exterior forest night. With machete and flamethrower in hand and an insane ball of fury, the Viet guy in Viet Cong attire kills a number of Marines.
He was in the Viet Cong for many years, a brilliant warrior, but a sicko, a psycho. And when the war was ended.
Exterior Vietnamese road day. The Viet guy, eyes dead, trudges a rural road. His village appears distantly. He smiles, eyes lightening a little. As he approaches, the villagers he passes look at him gloomily, then look away. The Viet loses his smile. As he enters his village, we see that as the signpost reads,
He returned to his little farming village with all intentions of leading a peaceful life with his wife and daughters. But the little farming village he came from was called
My Lai.
My Lai.
Exterior Vietnamese cemetery day. The Viet, eyes dead again, stares down at the graves of his wife and daughters.
And his wife wasn't there anymore, and his daughters weren't there anymore.
Interior plain day. The Viet, staring straight ahead, doesn't acknowledge the stewardess's polite questions.
And he ventured to the States to track down all the members of Charlie Company still living, who raped and butchered his family. You see where I'm going with this?
Interior bleak room night. Viet washing the blood off of his hands in the sink. A "Be all that you can be in the army" poster on the wall above the bloodied bed, from beneath which two dead feet protrude.
Well, he'd already slaughtered 6 of them by the time he got to Vegas.
Exterior Vegas Strip night. Past happy couples and family enjoying the pyrotechnics walks the Viet, acknowledging nothing, taking in nothing. He enters the hotel. A board outside reads, "Vegas Starlight welcomes C Company."
Where some kind of convention was being held on the rights and wrongs of the Vietnam War. We'll say it's set in the 80s.
Exterior Vegas hotel room night. Dozens of dynamite sticks around the belt at his waist, which he adjusts, looking at himself in the mirror.
And he's got with him a big bomb.
Later, on the bed, he dials a number, says the word hooker.
That he's going to strap to a hooker and send her into the middle of this peace convention.
Pull back on this image, leaving it in the thought bubble that disappears above the Viet's head as he sits there, the hooker in her panties, hands on hips, bemused.
And this is where we meet him the night it's going to happen. And the hooker's there in her panties. And like I say,
The Viet reaches inside his jacket for his gun.
there ain't no way that story's going to end, but grimly.
Exterior desert day. The two of them have been joined by Billy.
That's a great fucking psychopath, Marty.
Yeah, it's not what I really want to be writing about, Billy.
Uh-huh. New idea, Marty. How about we change the title from The 7 Psychopaths to The 7 Gay Guys Who Are All Disabled but have overcome their disabilities and are really nice to everybody? How about that?
Doesn't really scan.
Exterior desert day. Various quiet desert stuff and sunset, all the guys writing separately, happily. Exterior campfire night. Eating around the fire, Billy shuffles together the screenplay pages he's been writing that day.
Okay, here we go. Everybody comfortable? Exterior cemetery night. The shootout! Yay!
Marty rolls his eyes. Exterior cemetery night. The hooded Jack of Diamonds with Bonnie on the leash waits among tombs on the chill night.
The Jack of Diamonds is waiting there with Bonnie. He's arranged to give the dog back to its rightful owner and have this entire thing end, because all he really wants is peace. You know, like Gandhi or Jesus or that other guy. Anyway, he's waiting there for the mafia boss who's agreed to show up alone and unarmed. But guess what?
Slow-mo. Out of the darkness bursts Charlie, Paulo, and henchmen, guns ablazing.
Wait a minute.
Exterior campsite night.
First off, how the hell has this Jack of Diamonds guy?
Jack O' Diamonds guy.
How the hell has this Jack O' Diamonds guy ended up with Bonnie? We don't even know who he is.
I don't know, Marty. You're good at plot stuff. You figure it out.
And two, surely he knows the mafia boss is a psycho. Why would he ever believe he'd show up alone and unarmed?
Exterior cemetery night. Slow-mo. Charlie and the henchmen enter blasting again. The Jack of Diamonds returns fire as best he can.
You're right. Maybe the Jack of Diamonds was expecting to get double-crossed, because you know what? He just happened to have brought a couple of friends along with him.
Suddenly, from out of the tombs and mausoleums all around, a gun in every hand bursts Zach, Maggie, Hans, and Marty, with a pencil and notepad instead of a gun.
Suddenly, from out of the graves all around, a gun in every hand bursts the serial killers, the Quaker psychopath. You're there, but you're just there to observe. You don't believe in killing. That's fine. Nobody thinks you're a coward, but everyone else is firing.
All return fire, bar Marty, who takes extensive notes.
Even the Quaker guy, he's realized there comes a time for every man with guts to take a stand against evil. The Viet Cong guy, even he showed up. He was hiding up a tree.
The Viet, hiding in a tree, hops down, guns and flamethrower blazing.
It started raining now. Splinks, lightning. Even Kaya's there.
Kaya appears, calling out Marty's name in tears.
She's coming to say sorry to you, and that she loves you, and that she didn't mean to be such a fucking bitch. You tell her to stay back.
Marty screams as Kaya gets hit by 20 bullets at once.
Too late. She's the first to buy it. Her head almost comes off. You scream out her name as she dies.
As her head bursts open, Marty collapses to his knees in the rain, screaming.
You throw your notepad away. Art can wait. Now's the time for a man to be a man. The Jack O'Diamond tosses you an Uzi. You catch it one-handed and take up the fight.
The Jack of Diamonds tosses Marty an Uzi. He catches it one-handed and takes up the fight.
The man from the serial killers. She fought good, but she's next to croak.
Maggie gets shot to pieces and dies in Zachariah's arms.
She dies in Zachariah's arms. Ugh.
And where are you in all this, Billy?
The Jack of Diamonds takes a couple of cool shooting moves, a la Travis Bickle.
Huh?
How come you're the only one not there when all this is going on?
Where am I? That'd be a little crass, wouldn't it? Sticking myself at the center of your story? Anyway.
The Jack of Diamonds dives through a hail of bullets to protect Bonnie and place her somewhere safe. But in doing so, Jack gets badly hit. He's almost dead. Zachariah dies valiantly, his rabbit hopping away.
The old guy gets hit, and he dies. And they're old and in love, and it's really sad. But his rabbit gets away, because you can't let the animals get hurt. Only people. The Viet Cong guy gets hit, but he's so good with his dying move. He throws his nunchucks, kills two of the bastards. Ching, ching.
The Viet gets hit, but with his dying move, he throws his nunchucks, killing two of the bastards.
Nunchakas are Japanese.
So the only ones left are you and Hans.
Marty and Hans run out of bullets. Charlie, Paulo, and the three surviving henchmen advance, guns at the ready, sniggering as they're just about to shoot when...
And the Jack of Diamonds, who was just a bit injured, he wasn't dead at all.
The Jack of Diamonds blazes away from where he fell, drawing the Mafia fire.
He blazes away. He gets hit again.
And gets hit again. Hans and Marty open fire with their quickly reloaded guns. The Mafia boys go down.
But he's distracted him enough for you and Hans to finish the job. Blam, 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 blam.
Charlie is the last to fall, the Jack of Diamonds firing the killer bullet through his stupid face. Hans and Marty kneel beside the dying Jack of Diamonds, holding him in their arms, mouthing the following stuff.
And as the Jack of Diamonds dies in their arms, and he whispers, "We did good, didn't we, Marty?" Through your tears, you say, "Yeah, Jack, we did good." Then he says, "All I ever wanted was to be your friend. I'm your friend now, ain't I, Marty?" You say, "You're my best friend, Jack. You're my best friend." Then the Jack of Diamond dies.
The Jack of Diamonds dies. Pan up over the blood-strewn cemetery and off into the pretty blue skies. Exterior campfire night. Marty doesn't really know where to even begin his critique for the expectant Billy.
That's the end.
Yeah.
Don't I take off the Jack of Diamonds mask?
No.
Oh. So we never see him out of his mask for the whole thing.
No.
Oh. So who was he?
Just some guy.
Oh. Just some guy who wanted to be the writer's friend for no reason.
Well, yeah, well, no, he thought the writer was a very good writer, so he wanted to help him out in any way he could, by any means necessary. Yeah.
Oh.
So what do you think?
Well, it's very
Moving?
moving. Moving, maybe not moving as such.
I like the fact that the hero dies at the end, and the second hero, he's so in touch with his femininity, he can't even cry about it, you know? I mean, the whole thing for me, much more life affirming.
It's good, Billy. I'm not totally sure it's exactly the way I want the ending to go, you know, but we can work on it, yeah?
Of course, Marty. It's just the first draft. Of course I'll work on it. In fact, I'll go to work on it right now. Why don't I just go to work on it right now? Why don't I just go to just fucking do that?
Billy goes back to the tent, irritated. Marty is getting a migraine. Interior car day. Marty and Hans driving through the beautiful desert.
I liked it. I thought it was very much in keeping with the rest of the movie.
I need aspirin or vodka.
Hans smiles. Marty checks the glove box for no particular reason. There's nothing in it. Exterior, small town street, day. Small desert town on 29 Palms. Leaving a store with groceries, Marty sees a stack of newspapers and is horrified. He points it out to Hans. On the cover is a photo of Billy beside a photo of Mari. Beneath the headline, actor sought in 5th Jack of Diamonds slaying.
LAPD yesterday issued a warrant for the arrest of William Billy Bickle, an unemployed actor, in connection with the shooting deaths of 5 members of the Charles Costello crime family, the most recent of which, Marty Lackey, Mr. Costello's long-term girlfriend, was found shot to death in her Hollywood apartment Saturday night. Fingerprints on a Jack of Diamonds playing card found beside the body is said to match those found at all of the previous slayings.
They look at each other a while, sickened. Interior, bar, day. Sitting, numb, newspaper in front of them, nursing orange juices, Marty looks over all the booze behind the bar.
Says here, the neighbors say he was seeing this girl for months.
I thought he was making it up. I thought he was living in his own little dream world.
Well, he is, I guess.
Hans, Billy's a fucking psychopath.
Guess he made it into your movie then.
Hans finishes his juice and leaves with the groceries. Once he's gone, Marty gestures to the barman.
Hey, buddy, sell me a bottle of bourbon, will you?
Barman nods and finds a brown paper bag. Interior car, day. Hans driving through the desert as dusk falls. Marty quiet.
How much booze did you get, Martin?
Surprised at being caught out, Marty, finally, doesn't give a shit.
Not enough.
He opens the bottle and drinks. They drive on. The night getting darker, strange shadow cacti on the sunset skies. Exterior campfire night. The car pulls up, Billy looking terribly sad.
I thought you'd gone and left me.
What did you think? We just leave you out here in the desert to die.
Billy laughs at the insanity of the idea. Marty gives Hans a look like it's not a bad idea as he takes out the bourbon.
Marty, that what I think it is?
If you think it's a bottle of bourbon, then yeah. You want some?
You'll forgive me if I refuse to partake in your return to alcoholic oblivion.
Sure, I forgive you.
Marty takes a slug of bourbon.
Are you not gonna say something?
They all, even Bonnie, await Hans' response.
The peyote, Billy.
Oh, are we gonna have peyote party?
Why not?
Like in a Sam Shepard play?
Yes.
There's no such play.
Don't you start, man. I'm still aggrieved about this bourbon business.
Be aggrieved. Be very aggrieved.
Billy takes out the peyote. There's shitloads.
Well, I can see we're not going to be salvaging your screenplay tonight.
Marty sits down by the fire. Billy eats some peyote and gives some to Hans.
And I just written you a real cool twist, too.
Uh-huh. What was that, genius?
That Zachariah guy, the serial killer. The twist is Billy, the friend character, me, made up his entire story. Found some guy in an old folks home, looked up a couple of things on the internet, gave him $60 to tell you the story, hired a rabbit. Bing! You've got yourself a whole nother psychopath, courtesy of yours truly. 2 psychopaths, if you include his nutty wife.
Is this true? You made it up?
Well, the twist is, maybe I did, maybe I didn't, and I'm not gonna tell you either way. Ha!
Marty looks at him a long while, then takes another drink. Exterior campfire later. Half Marty's bourbon is gone. He's getting maudlin. Billy and Hans's peyote is kicked in, and they're seeing stuff. Hans idles off into the darkness, his torchlight all that's visible of him moving to a nearby ridge. Marty has another drink.
I'm sorry if I haven't been a very good friend to you, Billy.
You've been a good friend to me, Marty. What are you talking about? You've been the best friend a boy could ever have. What's the matter? Is this one of your maudlin alcohol things?
Why did you kill all those people?
Huh?
Why did you kill all those people?
Billy looks at Marty a long while.
Well, like I told you at Kaya's party, I killed all those people to spur you on a little bit and give you something to write about and get you to finish your screenplay.
Like you told me when?
Like I told you at Kaya's party, I was wondering why you hadn't said anything all this time. You forgot that too, huh? Jeez.
Once again, Billy has left Marty looking dumbfounded. Exterior desert ridge night. Campfire in the background. Hans is sitting, shining his torch along the dust and gravel. It hits a chair leg a couple of feet away, then a real leg of a person sitting on it. Hans slowly raises the torch beam to reveal Myra, sitting and looking down on him, covering up her plump nakedness with her arms. There's a bullet hole in her head.
Myra.
Wendy ain't here, Hans. She ain't here.
Wendy ain't there.
There ain't nothing here. There ain't no heaven here. It's just a room with nothing in it, with just all gray in it.
Maybe it's just a waiting room, Myra. You know, before.
We was good people for so very long, Hans, and it didn't even matter. And it didn't even matter a damn.
It did matter.
It's just gray. It's just gray.
Myra slowly looks away. Hans switches the torch off, then on again. Myra and the chair are gone. Exterior campfire night. Billy is looking at his right hand, intrigued, obviously seeing something we're not.
You won't say anything to Hans about it, will you, Marty? I think he'd probably just get upset, you know? Well, with all this his Quaker shit.
He'd get upset? I'm upset. I'm upset.
Well, I'm upset you started drinking again. How about that?
What has that got to do with anything?
A lot.
Billy, you shot a girl to death 2 days ago.
Oh, did she die? I thought she might be okay. I called an ambulance.
You shot her in the stomach, Billy.
Well, that's better than the head, ain't it?
Well, not really, no.
I said I was sorry, didn't I?
Jesus, I can't believe you told me about this at the party. Fuck, man, that's fucking terrible. Maybe Maybe I am an alcoholic. Maybe I am an alcoholic if I can forget something like that.
Okay, listen, I didn't tell you about it at the party. I was just kidding around. That'd be crazy telling you I killed a bunch of people at a party. You might have told someone, got me in trouble.
Then why did you just tell me you told me?
Well, to make you think a little more seriously about your alcohol issues. How about that, Marty?
Billy, you kill women.
I killed a woman.
Well, I don't hang out with people who kill women, Billy. And you know what? I certainly don't write screenplays with them.
What? What are you talking about?
You'd best pack the tent up, Billy. We're heading home. It's over.
But the 7 psychopaths, Marty.
I ain't even writing a movie called Seven Psychopaths anymore. I'm writing a movie called The Tale of the Alcoholic Writer who bumbles around, forgetting lots of shit, but is quite content despite all that because he doesn't have a murderous fucking idiot as his best fucking friend.
That's a terrible title.
I'll live with it.
Marty starts walking towards Hans's flashlight away on the distant ridge. Billy picks Bonnie up and cradles him, tearfully watching Marty disappear into the dark. Exterior Desert Ridge night. Hans shines the torch in Marty's eyes as he approaches.
Jesus.
My wife is she's sitting on a chair someplace in some great place. I thought she'd be in heaven, but she ain't. No, she's sitting on a chair, a bullet in her head. I thought they'd clean that stuff up.
Now Marty has 2 crazies on his hands.
Maybe you've just taken too many hallucinogenic drugs tonight, Hans.
This has nothing to do with hallucinogens.
Okay, but you've just seen your dead wife on a chair with a bullet through her head.
It's some great place.
In some great place. England.
Worse.
Wow. Listen, Hans, what say we talk about this on the way back home? There might be a perfectly reasonable explanation to all this.
Yeah, there might be a perfectly reasonable explanation to all this. Like there ain't no fucking afterlife.
That'd be one explanation, but not the first that springs to mind.
Suddenly, the car that's 200 yards away down the ridge explodes in a massive ball of flame. Stunned and horrified, Marty and Hans rush down to it. Exterior campfire night. The car is totally engulfed in flames as Marty and Hans get to it. Billy is nowhere to be seen, and the flames are so dense it's impossible to see if anyone is inside.
Billy! Billy!
In the tent, Dumbo.
Marty and Hans turn and see Billy and Bonnie's heads poking out through the tent opening. Billy beckons him over.
Now don't get mad.
What the hell did you do?
I set the car on fire.
Well, how the hell are we going to get home now? We're in the middle of the fucking desert, Billy.
That's the least of our worries.
What else did you do?
I'll give you a clue.
Billy holds Bonnie up gently, taps his name tag with Charlie's number on it, and mimes making a phone call.
Come on inside. I'll tell you all about it.
Billy goes back inside the tent. Marty looks at Hans, dumbfounded. Blue dawn creeps the dead horizon behind them. Interior tent night. Fire still burning outside. The 3 men sit cramped inside. Marty has his head in his hands, looking down at the 3 guns on the ground between them. One labeled Billy's gun, one labeled Marty's gun, and one labeled Hans's gun.
So yeah, I just called up old Charlie and I told him exactly where we were and to come down and get his dog back. And I told him if he had any problems finding us, just look out of the Buick all on fire. But I got him to promise to come down alone and unarmed. And he promised, and I believe him. So he'll be here in about 2 hours. I've labeled these guns up for you, but it's okay. You don't have to use them. I don't know you of Quelms, and I don't think you're pussies. I'm gonna hang on to mine, though, because I think we've done enough of this talking in the desert shtick. Don't you? Because I do.
Billy pockets his own gun.
This movie ends my way.
Billy winks, leaves the tent with Bonnie.
Well, that's just fucking great. Oh, great. That's just fucking great. Oh, that's just fucking great. You know what that is? Do you know what that is?
Right?
That's just fucking great. How far is the walk to the Welcome Center?
You can't leave him.
You're not going to fight.
Of course I'm not gonna fight. But I'm not gonna run.
So what are you gonna do?
Guess I'm gonna die.
Friends don't make their friends die, Hans.
Psychopath friends do. You're the guy I thought psychopaths were so interesting, Marty. They get kind of tiresome after a while, don't you think?
Hans picks his gun up between two fingers like it's diseased and leaves the tent. Marty looks at the final gun and goes to drink. Back in. Exterior desert, dawn. Blue dawn. Billy and Hans looking at something, Bonnie running around. Marty approaches from the distant background, the car still blazing.
Hey, Marty, we just seen a giant, some kind of gerbil thing.
Marty punches Billy hard in the face.
What was that for?
For getting us all killed, Billy.
You fucking alcohol bastard, Marty.
You might want to stop drinking, Martin, if this is the way you're going to behave.
If this guy has just telephoned a psycho killer to come fucking psycho kill us. This guy is doubting a lifelong belief in the afterlife because of a psychedelic cactus he just fucking ate. And you motherfuckers are telling me to behave?
Time out. Well, what's all this about doubting the afterlife, Hans? What the hell's he talking about?
Marty sits on the ground, drained. Bonnie stands in his lap.
I just met Myra up on the ridge. She had some things to say.
What things?
Things about where she is now.
Where is she now?
Nowhere good.
The peyote, Hans. What are you?
Myra, Billy.
No. It might have sounded like Myra, but you know why?
Why?
Now, don't get mad, but I snuck up there on you a little while ago, and I pretended to be Myra. I was just kind of fooling around. Marty will tell you.
Marty looks up at the lying Billy, who makes an almost imperceptible gesture for him not to say anything.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I did. I sat up there. I was doing her voice. I thought the amount of stuff this guy's taken, he's gonna think I'm her. It'll be a hoot.
Good try, Billy.
Marty, didn't I go up there and you know what I was doing?
Hans looks at Marty for an honest response. Marty looks between the two, conflicted.
Yeah, you went up there. I didn't know what you were doing.
So what did you say to me?
Huh?
What did you say to me when you were up there?
I just said all kinds of crazy stuff like there wasn't any afterlife, that being dead was kind of crap, all that type of stuff.
Specifically, what did you say about the place you were in, the place Myra was in? How did you describe it?
Billy fishes for an answer he doesn't have.
I just said it was all kind of, I don't know. I just said it was all kind of gray.
Hans stares at Billy, wasn't sure if his guesses worked until Hans clenches a fist for the first time in his life. Billy sees it. With all his power, Hans calms himself, unclenches his fist, and walks away towards the horizon. Billy wants to call out after him, but he can't. There are tears in his eyes. Marty looks at Billy with newfound respect, and Billy shrugs. Exterior desert day. Hans storming away, Marty catches up to him and stops him. Billy in the burning car in the far background.
How could he do that to me? How could he do that to Myra?
He's a nut, Hans.
He really crept up there. Did that.
Marty nods.
We can't just leave him here to die, Hans.
You could do whatever you want to do, Martin. You're a grown man, aren't you?
Hans tosses him his gun and continues walking away. Marty stops, looking between the two, Billy far behind him, Hans striding away in front. Torn, he tries to decide, should he stay or should he go? Exterior desert day. Billy sitting at Joshua Tree, footsteps up to him. It's Marty. Hans is far off now and getting further away. Billy his and Hans's gun and sits down.
How many guys you think he'll bring with him?
He said he'd come alone. Couple dozen. He sounded pissed. Pretty good guess, huh, Gray? Pretty good guess?
You knew it had to be something shitty. Gray's the obvious choice.
Brown's the obvious choice. Gray was a stroke of genius.
You're all right sometimes, Billy.
Billy, thrilled by the compliment, surveys his desert.
Desert's even more pretty, isn't it? When you're just about to fucking die. Huh. Hey, Marty, if you really ain't going to be doing any shooting, maybe you should go with Hans. See he gets back safe.
I'll see how this plays out.
Maybe we should phone Zachariah to come down, get him to bring along his missus.
Hey, was Zachariah a real guy, or did you make that stuff up too?
I made this stuff up too.
Marty smiles, looking his strange friend over. Hans has disappeared into the distant horizon. Exterior desert day. Marty passing time, scared and checking the horizon for cars, observing nature. He sees the gerbil thing. It was big. Billy idles, Bonnie in arms, gun in hands. The car fire is petering out some. He pours more gas on it. That helps. Later, the tent has been taken down. Marty uncorks the bourbon with a pop. He gives him a look. Marty gives him a look of fucking start. Billy smiles, and Marty drinks.
Where is this fucking guy? He's taking forever.
Maybe he got lost.
Billy has already pressed redial.
Don't. What do you?
Charlie, it's Billy. Where the hell are you? Cool. Well, just take a ride at the Welcome Center. Yeah, turn off the sign for the Hidden Valley. Yeah, like I said, and keep driving dead ahead till you see something on fire. Yeah, that's us. Yeah, hey, it's still unarmed, right? Yeah, right. Yeah, he went to the wrong windmills. Fucking idiot. It'll be 20 minutes.
Marty nods, scared, has some whiskey. Billy seems quite happy and content looking at some trees.
That dead tree looks like some kind of ghost of a sheep got trapped into something. If you look at it, ghost of a something with eyes anyway.
Maybe I should call Kaya.
Come on, Marty, and say what?
Well, goodbye, maybe.
Billy hands Marty his phone.
Well, don't tell her the story of any of this. This was my fault because you know, she doesn't like me.
Marty dials. Finally, it's picked up.
Kaya, are you okay?
Didn't I ask you not to call me again, Martin? And no, I'm not okay, if you must know. I'm still pissed at you.
Well, I'm sorry that you are, honey.
You broke my fucking heart. You know that?
Well, I'm sorry about that, Kaya.
Hang up on the bitch.
You didn't see any newspapers yesterday, did you?
No, I was round at my mom's.
Oh, yeah? How's your mom?
She's glad I'm not with you anymore, that's for sure.
Well, she never really liked me in the first place, did she?
How dare you say that about my mom? She was always lovely to you. She always welcomed you into her home.
Kaya, I just called to say goodbye, okay?
Tell me how my mom was not a decent person to you. Tell me one more instance where my mom...
Kaya, your mom was a fucking bitch the whole entire time we were going out.
Billy smiles.
What did you just say?
Your mom was a bitch. You were a bitch. You two should go up in a goddamn bitch college together. Go lecture to bitches on how to be a goddamn bitch.
Have you been drinking again?
Marty quietly hangs up.
So how's she doing?
Don't you say a fucking
A convertible suddenly stops distantly, speeding towards them.
word.
As the car speeds closer, we see it's being driven by Charlie, alone.
He's all alone. What the hell is he all alone for?
The boys scan the dusty horizon. There are no other cars coming. The convertible slows and stops 100 yards away from them. Charlie gently opens the door, raises his hands above his head, gets out, and turns all the way around, showing he's completely unarmed. He slowly advances about 10 paces, hands still raised, then stops and slowly turns around again to show even more clearly he's unarmed. A shot rings out. Billy has just shot him in the back. Charlie collapses, blood pouring from him. Marty is aghast.
You shot him in the back.
Of course I shot him in the back. I was aiming for his spine.
The guy was unarmed.
The guy was unarmed my ass.
Billy goes over it and checks the stunned Charlie for weapons.
Where's your guns?
You said don't bring none.
You didn't bring a gun to the big final shootout? Bullshit!
Billy searches Charlie's car, throwing out its junk and not finding a single gun.
You told me don't bring none, so I didn't bring none. Who are you?
Just Billy's friend.
Well, your friend's a fucking nut.
Well, you kill old fucking women. You're hardly a fucking Pilates instructor.
I was upset over my dog.
Found it, motherfucker!
Billy comes out of the car carrying a plastic flare gun, which still has the price tag on it.
It's a flare gun, Billy.
Can you do a lot of damage with a flare gun?
To an albino.
Why the hell are you... Why the hell are you packing a flare gun, fucker?
Exterior Welcome Center day. Hans, sweating, tired, finally sees the Welcome Center up ahead. He's on walking, and as he nears it, he sees a black car parked there. Paolo and 4 henchmen leaning against it, scanning the desert skies, some with binoculars. Hans stops in his tracks as he recognizes them. They're armed to the teeth, but they haven't seen him yet. He stands there, not knowing what to do. He checks inside his jacket for something. Still there. Finally, Paolo turns, sees, and recognizes Hans. Paolo takes out his gun. Exterior desert day. Charlie is getting dizzy from the blood loss.
You should always bring a flare gun to the desert in case you get lost.
What are you babbling about?
Can I have my dog back now?
No, you can't have your dog back now.
You promised I came unharmed.
Unarmed. You brought a flare gun.
He's not being fair, is he?
Don't drag me into it.
I think I'm gonna die.
Well, don't keep going on about it.
Charlie lays back dizzily in the dust, blood oozing.
Billy, we've got to get him to a hospital.
Are you out of your alcoholic fucking mind?
Exterior Welcome Center day. Hans is standing there in front of Paolo and henchmen. Put your hand up.
No.
What?
I said no.
Why not?
I don't want to.
But I have a gun.
I don't care.
Doesn't make any sense.
Too bad.
Where are your friends?
I don't know.
No.
Well, shoot me then.
Can't work out this kind of behavior. A local cop car slowly pulls into the Welcome Center, parked some distance away. Paolo quietly hides his gun behind his back. Hans eyes the cop car, his options having opened up a little. Exterior desert day. Marty has loaded Charlie into the passenger seat of the car.
Oh, this is just great. You're fucking unbelievable.
We can't just let him bleed to death.
We totally can.
Well, I guess that's the difference between you and me, Billy.
Oh, you say that like it's a good thing.
I ain't leaving without my dog.
That is the type of person we're dealing with. Listen up, nutwhacker. It's you or your fucking dog. You better choose.
Well, I gotta choose me, don't I? Because if I'm dead, I ain't gonna have a dog anyway.
That's exactly right.
And if I'm alive, I can still come back here and get my dog and blow your goddamn head off, can't I?
That's exactly right. And with your flare gun.
Oh, can I have my flare gun back?
No, you can't have your flare gun back.
Fuck you.
Marty finishes the whiskey, tosses the bottle, and starts the car.
What is he drinking and driving? What is he, an alcoholic?
I'll be back for you.
Take a gun just in case.
Marty shakes his head, drives off at speed, leaving Billy there, Bonnie in one arm, flare gun in the other hand.
That was the worst big final shootout I've ever fucking seen.
Car is almost out of sight. Billy looks at the flare gun.
Why would he only bring a flare gun to the big final shootout?
Billy thinks a moment, smiles, and fires up a flare, which bursts high into the darkening sky.
Yeah, I know why.
Billy smiles at the beautiful flare. Interior Charlie's car day. As the car passes the bobbly outcrop, Charlie sees the flare, uncertain what to do now, agitated. Marty sees it too, and starts getting a little tense himself. Exterior Welcome Center day. Paolo and henchmen see the flare and freeze. The two cops are still lolling inside their own car, chatting with some girls. Hans looks at the distant flare, looks at the distant cops, and looks at Paolo. You got a gun? You ain't got a gun, have you, Quaker? Paolo signals for the henchman to slowly get back in the car. Better get out of the way, old man. I like you. Hans smiles, then suddenly reaches inside his jacket as if going for a gun. Paolo reacts instantly, pulling his own gun and shooting Hans in the chest, knocking him down. The echo reverberates as Hans falls. The cops pull their guns as Paolo jumps into the car and it speeds off in the direction of the flare, cop bullets bouncing after it. As it passes the fallen Hans, Paolo sees what he'd been reaching for. Just some pages of writing paper. Blood trickles from Hans's mouth as the car gets away and the cops start shooting at it. Hans's eyes are curiously bright and happy as he lies dying.
It isn't gray at all. It isn't gray at all.
As one of the cops radios for backup, the other races to Hans and checks his pulse.
He's dead.
We see, written in bold on the pages in Hans' pocket, the words, Martin, does this help? Exterior desert road day. Marty speeding along the desert road, we see Paolo's gun-laden car approaching.
Oh, shit.
Marty slows and stops. There's nothing else he can do.
Should have brought that gun along, buddy.
Don't believe in him.
In guns? You don't believe in guns? They ain't fucking leprechauns. What are you fucking talking about?
Charlie takes the keys out of the ignition.
I was trying to save your life, man.
It's a flesh wound, you fucking idiot. Don't you know anything about anything?
Paolo's car screeches up. He and the henchman jump out, guns ready. Charlie gestures at them to chill out and come over. Hey, Charlie.
Give me my gun.
Paolo does so. Charlie goes around to Marty's side of the car. Got you coming, Charlie. We need to kill that Quaker guy. Marty begins to seethe, crying. Charlie watches, enjoying it.
Don't you wish you had a gun now?
Marty doesn't respond. Where's the other guy?
Down the road a ways with my dog.
What are we gonna do? Charlie points his gun at Marty, who simply gestures with it for him to move over. Marty does so. Charlie gets in the driver's seat.
Gonna go get my dog.
Charlie starts the car and speeds off. The others hurriedly jump in their car and speed after it. Interior Charlie's car day. Marty, grim and moody, as Paolo's car catches and follows closely.
What are you in such a sour fucking mood for? I could have just killed you just now, couldn't I? You've only had one friend killed. Yeah, you're just about to have another friend killed. That's still only two friends. I've had 4 of my guys killed and my one girlfriend killed. That's 5 friends killed. That's 3 more friends killed that you've had killed. So don't give me that sour fucking face, okay, Slokey?
Charlie smacks Marty across the face with his gun just as the cars pass the bobbly outcrop. Marty sees something up amongst the boulders glinting. He smiles. Suddenly, a shot rings out from the rocks, blowing the brains out of the driver of the second car, which careens off of the road, Charlie narrowly swerving to avoid it. It smashes into the boulders and turns over, windows smashing, gas spilling. Exterior bobbly outcrop day. With Bonnie tied to a tree behind them, Billy continues firing at the bloody henchman scrambling out of the upturned car. Charlie's car skids to a stop further up the road. The henchmen return fire from behind the car. The injured Paolo scrambles out of it and on the blind side and dives behind the boulders there, realizing the car is spilling gas. Get away from the car! Get away from the car! Figure out why he's shouting such a thing, then realizes why he's shouting such a thing, and shoots the gas tank. The car explodes in a ball of flame, killing all of the henchmen. Paolo showered in blood and flames. Billy surveys the carnage. It's almost as cool as the shootout in the cemetery. He tosses a number of Jack of Diamonds towards the corpses, then stops and retreats behind his boulder as he sees Charlie approaching along the road, gun to Marty's head. Charlie sees the bloody Paolo as the only one left alive.
9 fucking friends dead. Now throw your fucking guns down or the alcoholic gets it.
Billy, almost out of sight, tosses a gun down, then another.
And the other one.
I only had 2.
Man, I saw you with 3.
Marty, didn't I only have 2?
Charlie jams the gun into Marty's neck. Billy tosses the third gun down. Paolo gathers them up and moves up beside Charlie, guns trained on Billy's boulder.
Now get down here with my fucking dog.
Are you gonna let Marty go if I do?
Yes, I'm gonna let Marty go if you do.
Because he didn't have anything to do with this. He's just writing a movie.
Are you writing a movie?
Yeah,
What's it called?
7 Psychopaths.
Charlie nods approvingly. Good title.
Okay, I'm coming down. I was just trying to buy some time because I had to reload something.
Billy slowly comes out from behind the boulder with Bonnie in his arms and the flare gun pointed against his head.
You forgot about the flare gun, you idiot.
Charlie doesn't know what to do. Paolo's guns are trained on Billy, but they both know a shot is too risky.
Marty, walk away.
They killed Hans, Billy.
Billy takes a moment to process this info.
I didn't kill him. He killed him. Killed him. If you're gonna kill anybody, don't kill my dog.
Paolo lowers his gun, thinking, who the fuck am I working for?
Marty, go home. Go home and write it up. Write it all up.
Charlie allows Marty to extricate himself from him, his focus and his gun on Billy and Bonnie. Marty, sadly, backs away towards the car.
Come with me.
Billy shakes his head.
I told you, this movie ends my way.
Billy smiles and gently slips a jack of diamonds inside Bonnie's collar. Marty gets in the car and drives off. Charlie moves to shoot Billy, but his gun jams again. He tries to clear it, tries shooting again. Jammed.
What's the matter with your fucking gun, man?
It jams sometimes.
At the fucking stand up!
Paulo, shoot this guy.
At the fucking stand up!
Paulo, shoot him when he's not looking.
I am looking. Clearly, I'm looking.
I ain't shooting him.
What do you mean you ain't shooting him? He's gonna shoot my dog.
Fuck your dog.
Fuck my dog?
Hey, fix your fucking gun or your little gay dog's gay head is gonna explode. 5, 4.
Furiously to unjam his gun.
Can you go back to 5?
No, I'm not going back to 5. 3, 2.
Sounds of sirens wailing as cop cars appear on the horizon. Charlie's gun unjams. He sticks it in Billy's face. Billy smiles peacefully, and just as the cops arrive on the scene, Charlie blows Billy's happy head off. Interior Marty's car day. Charlie's gunshot reverberates as Marty speeds away through the desert, choked up and tearful. Exterior welcome center day. Hans's corpse dead in the gravel. Marty, in tears, brushes past a park ranger who's trying to keep goppers back. He kneels beside the body, ties his cravat up neatly, then notices the paper in Hans' pocket and quietly slips them out into his own. Marty walks away from Hans, from the ranger, from the goppers as the other cop cars pull up. Joshua trees silhouetted on the sunset horizon.
Dear Martin, well, I ain't any kind of screenwriter, as you know, but I've been kind of trying to come up with some sort of solution to your Viet Cong psychopath conundrum. And gosh, I think I may have found one.
Interior Vegas hotel room night. The Vietnamese priest sitting alone, sweating profusely.
So, there's this Vietnamese guy. He's in this hotel room in Vegas. He's sweating. He's sweating like hell. He's burning up. He takes from his pocket a 44, checks it's loaded, puts it away.
Viet checks the gun and puts it away.
I don't know why he checks it's loaded. Surely he's the one who loaded it. Anyway, Hooker comes out of the bathroom
A hooker comes out of the bathroom in the red dress.
in a beautiful, sexy red dress. And she says to the Vietnamese man, "Would you like to make love now? Or should we have an intelligent conversation instead?" She says, "I've been reading a lot of Noam Chomsky lately. What do you think of him? I think he's a marvel." The Vietnamese guy, he doesn't really have anything to say to that. He's Vietnamese. He doesn't know what the hell she's talking about. So anyway, you said you wanted some sex in it, so they have sex.
Interior Vegas hotel room night. The Viet guy and the hooker are having sex, both still clothed. The Viet, uncertain about it all, a ghostly voice inside his head calls out.
Cease, brother, you know this will not help us.
The Viet stops, sits on the edge of the bed. The hooker touches his shoulder tenderly. He shakes his head, sniffing the air, rocking back and forth strangely.
He sniffs the air. He says in Vietnamese a single word.
Gasoline.
The hooker, she studied Vietnamese at Yale. She says,
I don't smell gas.
The Viet stops rocking. Can't smell anything anymore. He takes out his gun.
he says,
You will.
He grabs her by the arm, grabs the dynamite belt, and takes her outside. Exterior Vegas gas station night. The Vegas strip in the background, a hooker by the arm, the dynamite around her. Viet steals a can of gasoline. The gas attendant protests. Viet points a gun at him. The attendant backs off. Heading off, the Viet is perturbed to see the lettering on the gas can is in Vietnamese. Interior Vegas hotel lobby night. Massive theme lobby of a major casino hotel. Viet pushes the hooker through, gas can in hand, mesmerized and disturbed by the garish colors and the displays of theatrical wonder.
he drags her to the place where the convention's being held. She's got the dynamite tied to her. He's got the gas in his hand.
Interior convention room night. They burst into the convention room. All the uniformed servicemen inside turn and look at them, smile, usher them in, and then turn away again. The Viet doesn't matter, but pushes the hooker in.
He pushes her into the room full of ex-servicemen. She backs away to the middle of the room, petrified.
She slowly backs away from them into the middle of the servicemen, shaking her head.
Pours the gas out into the room and he reaches her feet.
The Viet lets the gas pour out until it slowly creeps around the feet of everyone in the room, all oblivious to it, apart from the hooker.
A little of it has splashed over himself.
Viet sniffs the gas on his arms.
It doesn't matter. He takes out a match, but in perfect Vietnamese, the hooker whispers to him.
Cease, brother. You know this will not help us.
Close on the Viet as he lights the match and closes his eyes.
He lights the match, closes his eyes, and he opens them again.
The Viet opens his eyes.
He ain't Vegas anymore. He's sitting in the middle of
Exterior Saigon Street day. The Viet, in the robes of a Buddhist monk, is sitting in the middle of the road, drenched, an empty can of gas beside him. Its lettering all in Vietnamese.
the street in Saigon circa 1965 in the orange robes of his Buddhist order. 100 men and women, monks, Marines, all around him.
100 onlookers, amongst them the faces from the Vegas convention. The gas attendant, the hooker, look on in horror.
And he's drenched himself in gasoline as he finally manages to push the thoughts of anger and hate out of his gentle mind. A fellow monk pleads with him one more time. Cease, brother, you know this will not help us. And he smiles, and all hateful thoughts finally dispelled. The first ever monk to burn himself to death to protest the war whispers, "It might, it might." He lights the match.
The Viet lights the match, smiling serenely, and bursts into flames. The onlookers turn their faces away, the hooker crying. The Viet rocks back and forth in pain as he did in the hotel room, and we slowly fade out.
So, your Viet Cong psychopath story becomes the final thoughts of a gentle monk who, chose not the darkness, but the light.
Exterior desert dusk. Marty is sitting, reading Dusk Falling.
The light being, suicide by self-immolation. But I think that's the best we're gonna get. And I know you said dream sequences are for queers, but I don't know. I think it could work, don't you? We got a dream, don't we? Oh, by the way, I don't think they like being called queers. I think nowadays they prefer homos.
Marty smiles slightly. Shots of various remnants of their desert time, the burnt out car, the sheep tree, animals, insects, beautiful nature at harmony once more. Fade out. Interior Billy's apartment, night. Marty types the words beautiful nature at harmony once more, fade out, end. Bonnie is lying on a blanket on the couch. Marty stacks the final page with the others behind the Seven Psychopaths title page and places the script down on the desk. There's a framed photo of himself and Billy beside the script. He smiles at it. Redacted and continued. Interior courtroom day. Charlie and Paolo awaiting a verdict. Foreman of the jury says guilty, and Paolo's head drops. Charlie doesn't even care. Hubbub in court, the judge gavels for them both to be taken away. As the two men stand, Charlie seems to catch a glimpse of something or someone at the back of the court. What?
I thought I saw something.
They're led away, Charlie a little disturbed. Interior cell night. Paolo sitting, depressed. Charlie a few yards away from the cell's barred window, wanting to look out but unable to bring himself to.
Paulo, go out the window.
Charlie, there's nothing out there.
We'll just go check.
Irritated, Paolo goes to the window. I checked 10 minutes ago. There's nothing out there. There's a wall, there's razor wire, there's a lamppost, and there's a street that we ain't going to be walking on again for like 20 fucking years. That's all there is out there, Charlie. Back, hands and heads. Their head and hands. Charlie slowly moves to the window and looks out. Past the prison walls, past the razor wire, beside the lamppost in the dark street, stands a man in black. A hat bathing his face in shadow, a cravat around his neck, and although his eyes cannot be seen, Charlie knows he's looking straight up at him. Charlie leaves the window, sits on the bed slowly, absent-mindedly, starts scratching below his eyes with his nails. Not quite drawing blood, but almost. It started. Interior Billy's apartment, night. Clock on the desk beside the photo of Martin and Billy reads 2 a.m. Sound of the door opening, footsteps over the desk in which the man in black's hat is dropped. It's Marty, exhausted. He undoes his cravat, takes off his black jacket, and sits. Looks at the bottle of wine on the desk, something almost dead behind his eyes. Suddenly, the telephone rings.
Hello.
Is this Martin?
Yeah, who's this?
You promised on your life.
Huh?
You promised on your life you'd put my number up on the big screen there and tell her I loved her and tell her to call.
Zachariah?
Why would you make a promise and not see it through? Now, how's she gonna find me?
I didn't think you were.
You didn't think I was what? Serious? You think I'm not serious just because I carry a rabbit?
My friend made me think a friend made me think you were just a harmless old guy.
You must be insane.
I'll get them to change the credits. I'll get them to put your number up.
No, it's too late now. You know that. You promised on your life. And you know what that means? Don't you, Martin?
Yeah, I know what that means.
I'll be seeing you very, very soon.
Are you gonna bring your rabbit?
Huh?
Why don't you bring your rabbit and your fat dead wife? That's kind of why I didn't put your number up, Zach. She's probably dead and buried in her big fat grave by now.
She isn't fat.
But whether she's fat or she isn't fat, your dead wife sucks, Zach.
Are you some kind of fucking psycho?
Marty doodles on his script and doesn't respond.
I'll be over to kill you on Tuesday.
Good. I'm not doing anything Tuesday.
You sound different. You sound like you've been through the ringer.
Maybe a little.
You know, Tuesday doesn't really work for me, actually. Can I get back to you?
Sure. I'll be right here.
Marty hangs up, takes it off the hook, and lets it drone. He fans through a pack of Jack of Diamond playing cards on the desk. End.
Bravo. Great job, everybody. Thank you so much for doing this. And we'll see you next time.